Late Night Grin. Also, what does that name mean?
Yes, indeed, folks. We're back. Another Friday, another pay-per-view preview. What a calendar this is, Oracle, huh? Just keep on coming. You just get match cards, you go through, you make picks, you get out of there. It's a great time to be alive. We're here, of course, to break down, to assess, to analyze the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. As everyone knows, I'm big on ladder matches, so I'm fired up. I'm excited to be here. We're headed to Toronto. We're locked in. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy late night Grin Day. We've got the Fed 4. We were going to have the Fed 5. Jack Crosby was going to join us tonight, and then he realized that Bron Breakker was wrestling for the mid-card title and immediately just took himself off the show. That's the
Rage
kind of ego you're dealing with.
He rage quit.
Yeah. And he blamed the Lakers and said the Lakers aren't playing at this time, dude. Like, grow up, you know. But we do wish Jack well in his tryout, and hopefully everything works out well. But nonetheless, expert panel as always. The Fed 4 intact, ready to go. The Oracle of Wrestling. I just brought you up a moment ago. You're right there with me. When it comes to putting this schedule together, brother, you're right there with me. This is going great. It's going great, right?
It's going awesome. And the best part is the only one that I don't know if I'll be able to make is the All-In preview.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're approaching that in the next 6 weeks. I don't know if I'll be able to make that. I'll be out of town. In fact, the triple header, I'll be able to do the other. I think I'll be able to do the other 2 shows.
Oh my God!
But I don't know if I'll be able to see any of those shows live as they air. Got very busy weekends in late August and early September.
Wow.
Started football season. I got fantasy football drafts. And
family's
coming into town in late August from Colorado and all this shit. So yeah, I got. I may have to watch some graphs on the replay, but I should be here for those ones. Those are of course future. We've got tonight. And we've got SummerSlam on the first weekend of August that we still have to cover. But yeah, man, it's worked out perfectly for us. And, we have like 4 weeks set for October and November too, So, I mean,
it's great, dude. We have like another 3 weeks until we have to
set for October, November, actually.
Maybe. We got like another 3 weeks until we have to like come up with stuff to talk about.
Yeah, that's always fun.
So we got time. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Bobby Two Shoes, speaking of things to talk about.
What's up, pal?
You promised the people you'd be doing this show on a ladder. Is that what's happening right now?
No, I don't have a ladder, as it turns out. And
you don't have a ladder at all?
No.
Full stop.
Yeah. I have like a step stool, but and it's funny that bit would have been ultimately, would it really? And then I'd be standing on a ladder for 2 hours. And they didn't even do that tonight. They don't do it anymore.
But I guess the question becomes, did you not do it? It did used to be bad. Now,
yeah.
I guess the question becomes, did you not do it because of that thought process you just laid out, or the simple fact you don't have a ladder? That feels like that would have been an issue too, really.
Yeah, I mean, when I posted it, I did think maybe I'll go get a ladder, and then I'm just like, who is this for? Ultimately, love of the game, I guess, but maybe next year.
Maybe next year. That's another 35 pay-per-view previews away, because when Oracle and I make the executive decision to add TNA pay-per-views to the LNG.
Hell yeah.
Because we're going, man, we really don't want to have to make shit up this week. Here's No Surrenders preview.
Up next, we have Sami Callihan versus Yeah. Anyway, well, there's the answer. If anyone was wondering about the ladder, folks, kind of disappointing if you asked me, but you didn't ask me, so we asked Bob, and he said he doesn't have a ladder. All right, it is what it is. Chris, I'll tell you who does have ladders: the World Wrestling Federation. Many people are going to be climbing them for the ultimate opportunity in the land of professional wrestling. Money in the Bank. Great to have you back on. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling great. I almost missed a show tonight too. I got a phone call today from Bobby's close personal friend Chris Jericho.
Oh, and
yeah. He's like, brother, my non-makeup era Kiss tribute band is playing in an hour and a half from your house. You should come. I'm like, I'm sorry, Chris. I'm booked on the late night Grin. So
well, we've all been there.
I am.
We've all been there. Yeah.
No, I'm super psyched for this show. Yeah, I'm ready to talk some professional wrestling.
I love it. Bob sends me every single day. He sends me that poster of Fozzy in the UK with no caption. Noon Eastern every day. I get that from Bob. Sometimes it'll have like a clock emoji with it, but generally no caption. But I don't know. We'll have weird friends, right, Bob?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not the best route for me to go down at the moment. All right, let's get to some super chats. We have a couple already locked and loaded, folks. We hope you're well. We hope you're fired up for some wrestling talk. Please, Bob, what should they do with the thumbs up button?
Yeah, smash that thumbs up button.
You should hit the bell, subscribe, all of that great stuff. And if you're feeling generous on this wonderful summer Friday evening, send a super chat, much like our friend Willie, who says, haven't watched WWE since WrestleMania, and tonight I see quite a few people down on Bayley. Genuinely, has her title run not been good or what? This is a safe space. Okay, I want to, before we go any further, Oracle and I are laughing because we just saw one particular tweet about this topic and it made us laugh very much, which is why this is funny to us. This is a safe space, Willie confirms. So I got a few thoughts on this. So I actually think, I didn't see the match tonight, which I saw got some criticism. Yeah. I've actually liked her work as champion. I like the triple threat. I like the first Piper match. I thought she was good in the Naomi match. I guess the issue, if there is one, is that I think her babyface turn was built on the damage control conflict. And I think without that, I don't know what her babyface character is really just will like Bayley. That's really, I mean, and that's fine. I don't think it needs to be deeper than that. But to me, that would be the issue if there's one, Oracle. Does that make sense to you?
Sure. I also think that, it's a Road 2 show, and the amount of effort you get from your top guys and gals is, especially when you're this hot. I mean, I don't know how much effort you're going to put into it. It's got a big match at SummerSlam here. I mean, I don't know why you would. That wasn't even that bad. Piper was probably the better one in the match, but I mean, what are you going to do? Bust your ass on a Road 2 show?
It's something we've talked about a lot, and I actually think is understated. Is like, they've got so hot now that a lot of the brothers and sisters can kind of take it easy and get good reactions.
I've been to a house show recently.
Yeah, you've been exactly. House shows are crazy right now. Like they're over. When you're over, you don't need to do shit. So I think things get looser in that way. I mean, look at Jay.
It's also like brawling on the outside that, was to hype up the ladder match. So I mean, there was other stuff going on. It was fine,
dude. Jey Uso hasn't landed a punch since like May 2023. Right. It's amazing. So yeah, I think things are fine. Bobby, anything on Bayley's title reign?
No, I mean, I think she has struggled a little bit from not having like any real programs since like everything's kind of been thrown together. I think the Nia stuff will have a little more build, and they've already kind of started that. That'll help. But like it has kind of just been matches, and she's kind of like worked everyone on SmackDown already. And it's like it's fine, but like you'd like a little more connectivity there.
It feels like Tiffany is the program that would be a program, right? Yeah. Nia is to me more a match. It seems to me, though, Chris, and we'll talk about this a little bit more later, they're definitely up to something with the Naomi dynamic, right? They've been very consistent on featuring Bayley and Naomi alongside each other, and I'm a little suspicious, Chris. Do you think that may be something to look to here? Is that a circle?
Maybe. I guess down the line, possibly. I haven't really picked up on that. It's not like they're having Naomi giving these longing looks over Bailey's shoulder like they're doing with Randall and Cody. But no, I think Bailey's reign has been perfectly fine. She's had good matches. The problem, if there's one criticism that even the most diehard Triple Paul supporters can't deny is like his women's booking has not been the best.
Yeah,
to put it nicely. And you just you look at Liv over on the other show, and she hasn't had the matches that Bailey has had, but she's more of a focal point of a 3-hour show.
Yes.
Than Bailey is. She's arguably part of intertwined with the most important storyline on Raw week in and week out, and Bailey is like second or third if she's lucky some weeks. So
yeah, I don't know the exact number, I haven't followed it closely, but it feels like on a lot of SmackDowns Bailey is just like either watching a screen or doing a brief backstage interview that is interrupted. Like it's very, you're right, like she very much is not the main character, especially compared to Liv. And it's a good example, I think, of how I don't want to do the, how does wrestling matter in wrestling? But it is an example of how you get different characters over in different ways, right? Like Liv had a match on Monday that got good reviews. I didn't get a chance to catch it. But the reality is this Liv thing with Dom has done more for her as a top star than, 10 3-star matches ever would, right? Like you have, everyone's different in that way. I think Bailey, if anything, probably suffers from the fact that she's so like established. It's like, it's Bailey. She's going to be fine. And she is really. So I think that's where we stand. Willie,
and that's a good point too by Buster Boy that Bianca and Jade do feel like the main characters of women's division still.
Yeah.
Over on SmackDown.
That makes a lot of sense because, I mean, whenever that match is going to happen, it's going to be a big one, right? So that makes sense. It's a good point. Good call. I heard Liv and Zelina was good. I did not see it, but I heard it was good.
It was pretty solid. Yeah,
it was.
This is a good point. Actually, we should have mentioned Bailey's theme song.
Yeah, that theme is
that's bad.
Very tough. Very, very tough. Thank you, Willie, for the super chat. We appreciate you. Andy says, for about 7 months, Raw's been the show I enjoy skimming through. Wouldn't dare watch weekly TV live, of course. Thoughts on the variety show it's become. I don't watch any of it because I protest Raw because I'm a SmackDown fan. But I watch 2 things on Raw. I follow the Liv stuff just because, it's been all over the timeline because it's very clip heavy. And I'm not saying this to be ironic or be an asshole. I actually have been watching the Uncle Howdy stuff because I like the Bo promos. I think Bo's doing a really good job, sincerely. So I'm watching those 2 things. I don't watch any of the wrestling matches because that's what I do now. Isn't on DVD or Blu-ray. I have no reason to watch.
It's like that's like me about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I'm where you are. Yeah, I watch a lot of wrestling matches. I just don't watch any from 2024.
That triple threat, dude. You might like that one, Drew, Ilya, and Sheamus. At one point, Ilya gets he takes a bro kick to the dick or something. It's awesome.
I heard it was fucking beast. I'm in a weird pervert Brett era where I think I've had enough of guys posting photos of their red chests after being chopped. I need a break. Every time Sheamus wrestles, he's like, look how red my chest is. Jesus, man. Can't you block it or something? Do something else. I don't know. Do a drop down tackle or something. I don't know. And the thing is, I go through spells for a while there. It popped me huge when guys would just whack each other. And when you first start watching Puro and guys throw chops, you go, oh, this is what I need. I never want to see anyone take a bump again. They just chop each other forever, And then you watch it for a while, and then suddenly you want arm drags. I'm currently in that era, watching a lot of 96 Sean and stuff. I go through different vibes. It's just the way I am. Unique cat, Bob. You're the same, right?
You're appalled at what I've been doing recently.
I'm sure.
No way you would do it. There's no way you would do it.
The amount of TV matches you watch, I don't know how you do it, dude.
It's not even just the TV, just because I'm taking one of my little mini breaks from Monday Night Wars.
Yeah.
I saw a Nitro that disappointed me, and I was like, this isn't very good, and had to take a break, And so And so I put in like a random number generator.
Yeah.
Everything after, because I don't want to watch stuff that I haven't gotten to yet from Monday Night Wars. So everything after WrestleMania 17 up until WrestleMania 40, WWE only, just put in a random number generator for Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-view, and that's why I was tweeting about Vengeance 02 the other day. I've landed on it in a random number generator.
Sometimes that's good though. Sometimes if you do too many projects, it can feel like work. Sometimes you need to. I just want to watch some wrestling.
And sometimes a random, the RNG approach keeps you from choosing.
Yeah.
Now sometimes you hit that random number generator again because you land on something and you go, I ain't watching that shit. But,
yeah, it's interesting, Bob. What are you currently thinking of the variety show that is Monday Night Raw? Do you watch it?
I watched it this week. I thought it was pretty good. It is a variety show. Like, again, the thing is always going to be 3 hours is too long, and I think everyone can agree on that. That's been discussed to death. But there's a lot of stuff there for everyone, and it's kind of nice. Like, I don't know that I would watch it every week, but live at least. I mean, I'll watch it the next day or whatever on DVR. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot there, and they're really doing a nice job with it. I have probably watched SmackDown more often since WrestleMania, but
it's the A show.
Well, yeah, exactly. But when I tune into Raw, it's not like offensively bad like it used to be, and which that kind of gets me thinking like I should watch more because I waited 20 years for it to be good, and now I just kind of don't want. But whatever, it is what it is.
The Final Testament are on Raw, but what have you made of their kind of progression up the card?
It's not going great. They are featured. They're featured more than the Lashley and Street Profits group. So I was
going to say Bobby's technically right because Lashley's been hurt.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Bob Lashes. Yeah, he's vanished. I don't know what's up. He is. The Street Profits are, I think, a just wonderful act, but they are like style does not do justice.
Yeah.
Like they're so part of the furniture, dude. Like when they came out tonight, it's like what do you do with it? Because the whole thing was the Lashley group was supposed to rejuvenate them, and they just immediately went back to being the Street Profits of old, and that's fine. But I don't know. It feels like they need something. Nonetheless, Chris, are you into Raw at the moment? Monday Night Raw?
I am. Yeah, I've been watching. Yeah, pretty much every week, live-ish. Usually we're having to pick up the son from the grandparents' house on Monday night, so don't get usually at home right before 8, so I'm starting it on a little bit of a delay. But yeah, I've been watching it pretty consistently, and I've been enjoying it for the most part. I mean, there's segments here and there and off weeks here and there, but for the most part, I really, really enjoy Raw. So,
yeah, it seems to be people are pretty positive on it. I mean, I think there is that we circled a while back. The kind of they have a challenge sometimes in terms of star power, but as we mentioned a million times over, they make up for that. There's a lot of guys that can have good matches on Raw. Right? So,
let me present something. We've got 2 hours to
we got ages.
We only have 5 matches to talk about. That's the one thing about the Fed shows. You can't do this for the AEW show. You got 15 matches to cover.
I feel like I got guns pointed at me when I do the AEW show. I'm sweating bullets. I forgot a match last time. We were already at 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Well, that match wasn't announced till later, technically. Anyways, well, then we had a random fucking Kyle Fletcher squad.
No, I was talking about the match that you remembered and I forgot. Remember?
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. Yeah. Sorry, but anyways, I want to present this because I'm an idiot and am way too open about my wrestling fandom. And there's a guy at work who's a huge fan that I work with, and he keeps mentioning how he's like, and I want to have this discussion. He keeps talking about, and we'll talk about it more as we get closer, but he's excited for the Netflix thing because he thinks it's going to be edgier, and I'm thinking, how much edgier of a product is it actually going to be? And I've thought about it, and I want to talk about it a little bit. From my end, I think it's probably going to be more cursing.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think it's going to be much different. To be honest.
I don't expect a lot of change, but I think for you guys, it may feel like a lot of change because of how extreme Fox has been.
Sure.
From what I understand, they
granted,
black out.
it's Raw. You got to remember, it's Raw going to Netflix and SmackDown's going to USA. So
right, but either way, it's like you're not going to have a show that gets blacked out and muted. Yeah. I think it will. The problem is their brand is very much built on being like family friendly, so I don't think they're going to go crazy with it personally. I mean, they'll push the envelope occasionally, like now even, but I don't think it'll be consistently nuts. I don't know.
I just think it'll be more like if someone, Cody might say shit, on a promo or something. Well, of course he's a SmackDown guy, but my point is like, somebody might say that and it'll get unedited, and that's like
you'll get
people
some of that stuff.
Post on Twitter.com and proclaim it the greatest moment in the history of sports, or whatever.
Punk will definitely have some fun with that stuff, and say shit once, everyone will lose their mind. There's
gonna be commercials for sure. It'll be different, but
there'll be some baked in commercials. Even if you have the premium, there'll be like on the network there is, right? You get the what's coming up and shit like that. I am excited for it though. Like,
what do you think, Chris? You think we'll get cursing or blood or?
I think it'll be kind of like it is now. Like you'll get something every once in a blue moon, just to make it feel special. You don't. If you do it every week, it's like, okay, cool. They said shit again. That's like, not to talk about AEW, but that's the thing. Like I watched a full episode of Dynamite this week, and I'm like, 5 people said shit, and I'm like, all right, cool.
That rules. I didn't even notice. I'm so like, yes.
Although I gotta be honest, Mercedes and Britt calling each other bitch like 10 times.
When Britt said,
I was expecting Natty.
Bitch, what line?
It felt like a clue Natty was coming in. When Britt had a line where she was like, "You look like a broken bitch with a broken leg," and I was like, "What?" Rude. That had good energy though. It had like a real feel to it. It was cool.
But yeah, I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. Like
that's true. When Dwayne shows up, he'll be won't be saying fuck and all this other stuff.
He does what he wants anyway. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm with you, Chris.
All hail our benevolent final boss.
Yep, indeed.
Greatest heel in the history of pro wrestling.
Bob, do you think this could be transformative for Karrion Kross if he could say shit occasionally?
It could help. I don't think it'll hurt at this point.
Can't hurt, yeah. Good call. All right. Thank you, Andy, for the super chat. Jumanji Hunter, very aggressive, says Coach Joe is a fraud. In person is now the way. All right, look. Watch the breakdown, watch the match, and tell me if young Daniel Garcia followed the plan. That's all I'm going to say. I ain't here to throw my athlete out like that and throw him under the table. I mean, let's be real, I mean, it is what it is. I don't want to throw him under the bus, but Bob, you know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, you can't, as Marcus said over at WrestleBridge, you lead us to water, but you can't make them drink. I mean, Here's what it is. Here's what it is. But I appreciate it, I think. Nonetheless, thank you, Jumanji Hunter, Chi-Town Spurs. As Jay and LA repeat yeet and yeah back and forth. That was a moment. We just need to add Caster and his yas. And we have the holy trinity of Y-word catchphrases that make me want to jump into I have to be honest, and this is not a WWF AEW thing, but I think Max is currently he's on a different tier for me at the moment, I have to say. I find Jay, it's funny to me because he dresses like an indie wrestler in 2005. Like everything's yeet, and he's going to go to the merch stand. I actually like LA Knight. When Max Caster comes out, it brings a different emotion out of me. But point stands nonetheless.
Does it bring a Google Sheet doc form?
It does.
On your laptop.
The thing that actually annoys me about Max most is I actually like Anthony Bones a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like I struggle to enjoy but I know Jay has that effect on a lot of people. So, Bob, can you rank these three, the holy trinity of Y-word catchphrases in wrestling? Go for it.
Oh, man. Okay. I guess Yeet's number one now just because of merch and everyone. But LA Knight, still up there. Yo is definitely 3. I think that's just based on.
Because I don't even consider yo a catchphrase. It's just something he says 3
Yeah.
times before he starts his rap.
Do you remember when Jim Ross did it when he did the listen?
Yeah.
Thank you, Shoutout Spurs. We appreciate it. All
By
right.
the way, that new J shirt is straight out of 1993 WWF magazine, and I love it.
Oh yeah.
I haven't
The
seen
all
it.
over. It's like the old Brett or like the old Razor Ramon shirt where it's just a close up of his face, like all over the shirt, and it's like him with the Yeet sunglasses on.
Please buy that, Joe.
8-year-old Chris would have been all over that.
I'm gonna buy that shit at 26, bro. I'm in. Just give me some. Just because that's the way I work now. I do so many shows. I don't right now, but I have been doing so many shows that I have like a whole wardrobe of stuff that I will only ever wear on the air, right? Because I ain't gonna wear like some, I have like a Hawaiian shirt. Yeah, well, Bash to the Beach, I'll happily rock a hat, but like I have like that AEW Hawaiian shirt, bro. I ain't going to the fucking local restaurant wearing, we've got with Dan House and on my dang nipple, you know what I'm saying? Like, but if I get a Yeet shirt, I never wear it out. But if I wear it on the podcast, that pops people, Then you get and that's how you get the metrics on Twitter that you talked about, right? You get
exactly.
And they released a shirt, and then very conspicuously announced that they want the pay-per-view to be a whiteout tomorrow. So
they did. Yeah, I saw that. Bob, you've been asking for that for years, right?
So I think we should briefly bring it up. I watched it. I think, Bobby, you may have watched it. The WrestleMania 40 documentary.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Chris, did you watch it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I watched it last night.
Quite funny.
It was.
Lots of lying and stuff. It was very good. It wasn't
Dwayne
good,
had-
but it was
Dwayne
funny.
has shot up the all-time Carney rankings.
Yeah. All-time performance from him there.
My favorite is like the same thing with the clip. Like he sits like it was the same thing for the ad for it too, where like Dwayne goes, then something unique happened. Unique? What do you mean something unique happened? The fans didn't like what you were giving them. What else? How else do you describe it?
What
Well,
actually?
the unique thing is that they actually listened. That's the unique thing.
Yeah.
What actually inspired them to do this? Like, it's so close to the event, and they advertised this before WrestleMania, which also was. Do you think this whole project was like Dwayne getting ahead of the story, or what do we think? Because it's kind of like, WWE have done real-time documentaries, but they've never announced them before this was kind of crazy the way.
This was like, wasn't this like before Cody and Roman even finished?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, this was
before Cody.
Yeah, they announced, like, I remember sitting in the stadium and they showed a video package for it, and I'm like, oh man, I can't wait for this.
Yeah, and then because originally it was going to come out like the Wednesday after.
Yeah, it was.
Like what?
I love how
It's just weird.
Roman couldn't be arsed to sit down for a 5-minute like sit down interview for it.
It was great.
He's like, nah, you can talk to me while I'm working out or something, but other than that, I don't give a shit.
Impossible for me to do anything but love that dude. Just completely won the game. Doesn't give a shit.
Oh, Roman doesn't care, bro.
He's a beast. And he's more over because he's off again. Like he's taken more time off and got more over because of it. It's very, very.
And I'll say this now: after all these years, good for him, because that dude, was a victim of circumstance so badly.
Certainly, he became the face of a whole fucking movement because of how shitty the WWF was. It sucked, dude. It was brutal. But honestly, anytime one of the grapplers wins to that degree, my instinctive response is God bless. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just pops me. It was like we were talking about before we went live tonight, and I know there's a bit in the chat we're popping about DIY. And this was before we went live. We talked about DIY, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Referencing a conversation that people heard 20 minutes ago. I was like, let me make sure. And I was saying to Oracle, it's like, dude, like I have fun at DIY expense, but I'm fucking thrilled for them. Seriously, like they're getting their run on the main roster and they got the belts. Like that's actually how my brain works. And I think we're all the same in that way. Like, God bless, man. Good for DIY. So, I heard the match was good. Oracle, the match was good, right? So,
yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah.
Revival references, can't go wrong with that. So,
right
for it. Shout out to them. All right, I guess we should talk about Money in the Bank, right, fellas? That would make sense. do we do it? I don't think we need to do a temperature check. I feel like that bit, as funny as it is, we did one 3 weeks ago, right? So I feel like we can kind of we just get into the matches, folks. We hope you've enjoyed this thus far, whatever this has been. Bob, what should they do with that damn thumbs up button?
Smash that like button.
There you go. It's a like button. Why do I call it a thumbs up button? Is that a sort of very literal take on it?
Yeah, it's a thumbs up little icon.
Yeah. Smash the like button, which is a thumbs up icon, and then click the bell for notifications. And again, if you're feeling generous as those previous grinners were, send a super chat and help me buy the Yeet shirt. All right.
No, help him bid on Eric Bischoff's NWO motorcycle.
So can I just say one thing as we start to cover?
It's on eBay, Joe. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, he tweeted out the link right at the end of SmackDown. He's auctioning off on eBay the NWO motorcycle.
Wait, what's happening?
Eric Bischoff is auctioning off his NWO motorcycle.
Not.
Okay. The thing that rules about is if I was to get that, it would just be like my podcast backdrop. So I would just do podcasts with Eric's.
I think it's like 15 grand right now.
He disappointed me greatly last weekend, and
yeah, that was disappointing when he buried WCW 92.
Sure, I can forgive him for that.
I don't know. He can convince me. I think he's fooled me before.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I do want to point out as we start to cover the show, Joe talked about how he was really looking forward to 2 matches, and that I mean, I'm looking forward to the 2 ladder matches as well, Joe, and I know you are.
Oh yeah, can't wait. Well, it's been so long since I saw a multi-man ladder match. I haven't seen one it's been a whole week. I can't think of all the ideas they could come up with in a week. You know what? I joke around. The one last weekend was really good, and these will probably be really good, right? Like I enjoy them when they're on. I just there's a lot of multi-man ladder matches, and I think part of my issue is what percentage of ladder matches now are this type rather than just a one-on-one ladder match? You hardly ever get one-on-one ladder matches anymore. It's like, I think that dilutes it too. But whatever, we'll get into those. There are 2 matches Oracle mentioned that I am very excited for. We're going to start with one of them. It is, of course, the Intercontinental title. Mm-hmm. Sami Zayn, who of course last defended the belt, beat Chad Gable, famously beat Gunther at the WrestleMania. And here he is against what it feels like could be the end of the run, the brick wall waiting ahead of him here. Bron Breakker. Jack Crosby was defiant in his claims that Bron should not and would not go for the mid-card title. He is in fact going for the mid-card title, as we all suggested 3 weeks ago. And here we are. Bron Breakker, Sami Zayn. This one is a big one in a lot of ways. Firstly, the finish intrigues me because I think we all know where this belt is heading. Do we know if it's heading there as soon as tomorrow night? I think is the question here. To me personally, that's the way I view this. And the other thing I'm looking for is match quality, in the sense that won't matter to the masses, but just my personal taste. Bron is so explosive, so exciting, but he's still finding himself. That's part of the appeal of Bron. It's exciting to see someone raw. I'm really intrigued what kind of match Sami puts together with Bron. I think this could be very, very good. I'm very hopeful, especially Toronto. Oh, my goodness. Very excited for this one. Bobby, Bron Breakker, Sami Zayn. What are you thinking?
Yeah, it should be a great atmosphere. First and foremost, Sami got the big Olay chance tonight. He wasn't even there. So, they're going to be fired up for it. Yeah, I mean, as far as, should they do it tomorrow? Like, you can draw it out and get another match out of it at SummerSlam, and I think it might actually be the right call to just do that at this point, just because it's probably the biggest match you're going to be able to do for that belt. But, like, I don't know, because Bron's got this momentum. Unless you do, like, a DQ finish and kind of keep it going that way, like, you don't want him to lose, but again, I think you can get one more match out of it, get it to SummerSlam, and give Bron his moment there.
That is the big X factor to me, Chris. He's like, I'm pretty confident Bron's getting this IC title. I'm not convinced it's tomorrow. What do you think?
So my thing is, the way I kind of see things, I think SummerSlam's going to be pretty loaded as it is.
True.
Yeah.
that I'm not sure. Well, no matter what it is, I'm not sure an IC title match makes it.
Mm-hmm.
On the show. I think you have Bron win here and do it. I wouldn't squash Sami, but I'd have it be pretty decisively though.
Yes. Yeah.
And like, so I understand what Jack was saying last time, and I could get behind it, but also I think there's a value in giving Bron the Gunther treatment. I mean, he doesn't have to hold it for 600 plus days or whatever, like Gunther.
Right.
But he can use this and just run through everyone with the IC title before you decide to level him up to the world title picture. But
indeed, Chris, you may have noticed as you were speaking there that I let out a sort of smirk, a regretful smirk, because the StreamYard studio, someone entered just as you were talking about Bron Breakker winning the Intercontinental title, and it felt like it was just meant to be because, of course,
I called it. Right?
You did.
I called it before we hit
exactly what you said would happen because the Los Angeles Lakers own Jackie Crosby has arrived just as we were talking about his favorite topic, Bron Breakker, IC champ. Jack, how are you, brother?
This right here is bullshit.
I don't know, man. It sounds pretty good to me. You're still against this Bron Breakker business?
Nope. Don't like it. Nope. Not on board. Nope. Never gonna be. Should be world champion by December.
Wow.
Fuck this shit.
What about Gunther?
What about Gunny, Jackie?
I'd be okay with Bron destroying Cody for all I fucking care.
Wow.
like, this is horse shit.
Wow. All right. No one can ever say you're sitting on the fence, Jay. That's what I love about you.
No. All right. I'll be serious for a minute. I think that I'm okay with this because it's Sami Zayn.
And he fucking rules.
If it was anyone else, or
That's
I
fair.
shouldn't say anyone else, a few other people, like Sami is so established that if he does put Bron over for the Intercontinental title, that's a thing on Bron's resume that you can't ignore. Like it'd be one thing if like you're treating the Intercontinental title like it's been treated for the last 15, 20 years, whatever it's been, and he just beats some random dude. But I think Sami has established himself enough where if Bron runs through him tomorrow, it's pretty cool. When you think about it, you know what I mean? Like
he's beating the guy that beat the guy. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
If it was anyone else or any other scenario, I'd be like, But I do have to admit, I've come around to it that if he beats Sami, it's all right.
Good for you, Jack. Did Jack just steal? Was that Lance Storm's catchphrase? If I could be serious for a minute, was that not his thing?
Yep.
It was, right? It was his thing.
Yeah, I did.
All right. There you go. Bobby, we talked about this. Oracle, Bron Breakker, Sami Zayn. Go for it.
I mean, to be honest, Braun's been having some awesome TV matches with Sheamus and Kaiser and stuff, and I think this one's going to roll too. I don't know. I think he should win the belt for sure. I don't know if they'll have him do it tomorrow. I think it's possible there could be a DQ or no contest finish. And then he wins it in a 4-way at SummerSlam. I kind of agree with the chat. There might be a 4-way at SummerSlam. And I don't disagree with Chris that SummerSlam's a loaded show, and the way Triple H books shows, it's hard to fit mid-card matches on a show like that. But I think there's a chance we get a 4-way for the title with Sami, Kaiser, Bron, and Sheamus. Of course, there's always the risk of Bron not winning and Sheamus getting the IC title. And then
Okay, see, now I have a problem.
see how
now I have a fucking problem again. Like, now I have a problem.
That match should be pretty cool, though. Dude.
No.
Oh, I feel like you
Bob,
agree
did you
with
say
me.
yeah? What the fuck is wrong, Bob?
Jack, listen to the match. You were telling me that match wouldn't be fun.
Be a good match.
We'd have a great time with that, dude.
I'm just trying to put a spotlight on Little Steiner. Like, I just want a spotlight.
He
I
needs
don't
one,
need
to be
three
fair.
other people in the ring with him. I just want. He fucking rules.
He is very little.
It's about him.
Little fella. I think if there was a cruiserweight belt, he'd be in the box seat. I just think with the heavyweights, you got to build him up a little bit,
Why? Why do you like?
Just
I
because
wasn't going to be here. I came here.
I love Bron, but it's just as your friend, I feel like you have to push back on these things, right? That's the way it works.
Listen, I just got done putting a screaming 3-year-old to sleep. And you're gonna come at me like this, dude, Joseph. You're gonna come at me like
Jack,
this.
You know how the group chat works. If two people get excited about the same thing, the other person has to immediately pull on it. It's the way it works.
I'm sorry, Jack. I wasn't,
It's
to be fair, that was good.
I had an epiphany. I had a moment. And then you just come in and you're like, why don't we put 5 guys in the ring with Bron Breakker? No.
I think Bron's going to win here, actually. I think Chris's description of not a squash, but decisively so, I actually think they're going to do it. I think Bron he's going to be the exception to the rule when it comes to how patient Triple H can be with these things. I think he's actually going quickly.
How about this, Jack? Because as Jake pointed out in the chat, it's rare for Triple H to do DQ finishes on a show. Bron beats Sami tomorrow, and then he retains it in a 4-way at SummerSlam.
I'd be okay
against Sheamus, against Sami, and then I guess
I'd be okay.
If Kaiser's hurt.
At least you have the initial rub of like he destroys Sami.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that's fine. That's all right.
That was good. I like the way you worked that out, fellas. Good job. Good job.
That's teamwork. That's what we do.
Do you think this will be the best match on the show, or do you think it will be so decisive that that's not even the game plan?
No,
I kind of think the latter.
No, I think Seth Priest is going to be the best match on the show.
Nice. I like it. I like this Damian Priest redemption arc we're working around here.
He's good. He's good. And I'm tired.
I'm a huge fan.
He's not.
I'd said I'm not really a fan at all, but he had that match with Drew and he died, and I just went, I'm going to just pretend I'm a big fan. Because that's what you got to do. You have to just make choices in life, right?
That would be beast. What Plethora said in the
Bron versus Sheamus IC title, and Bron kills him and sends him to AEW. We haven't heard anything about Sheamus' contract.
No, that's weird because it seems like he re-signed, but there's nothing that came out that he did re-sign.
I think the couple times I've heard Sean talk about it is if anything, there's been injury time added because he was out for so long.
That makes sense. So he just came back in April?
And to that point, I'm thinking about even if he did, I think he and Triple H are so close that maybe he was like, all right, if you're gonna leave, I understand it, but all right, we'll give you one last little run here before you do walk out the door. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I do think that. And I'm not just saying this because I like WWE now. I do. But I think it's time for Sheamus to – I would like him to have a 1 or 2 year run in AEW or somewhere else.
So I agree just because it's fresh. It's fresh, isn't it? But, the thing I'd actually like him to do, which is never going to happen because, unfortunately, the Japanese scene is fucked, is, Sheamus going over and being the top guy Jin for Noah or New Japan would be if it was good right now, that would be so cool. But it's not, and the money's bad, so it ain't gonna happen. But I'm with you.
5 years ago, Sheamus were holy fucking shit.
That's to me that would have popped me here. They got no budget, and Sheamus has been making a lot of money for a long time, dude. He ain't about to. So it would be AEW if he was to leave, which is cool. That'd be neat. But the contract situation's weird, man.
I don't want to say. I don't want to come up and blow up the spot.
No, I do you want to.
What's going on with Natty?
Right, that's exactly where I was about to go. There you go, Jake. You were a step ahead of me. So weird thing. So the Dijak news was eye-opening, right? In that he said he didn't get offered a deal. and it didn't surprise me because we talked about this a long time ago, that some of the underneath guys are going to really, I think, struggle in the new regime, where there's a feeling they haven't got the value. I know nothing about Natalia's situation. I don't think anyone actually does. She's actually like, but there's definitely a lot of people that believe the same thing's happening to her. I don't believe it, but there's people that believe it. What made this all really interesting was the Garza news, where he's signed a new deal. And not only has he signed a new deal, he was like victory lapping about how much money it was.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't give a fuck what they do with me.
And here's the thing. I think Garza's a great talent. But in terms of his usage, I mean, I'm on the show about as much as he. I mean, he's a, you know.
I still mean this. Like for years and years and years, people would look at a Mexican talent and go, he's the next Eddie Guerrero. Garza. I was like, no, that's the one. He's the one. And they just
he don't do anything on the show. Yeah, it's just nothing. Like, so I kind of thought he would be leaving, and it seems he got a pay bump, and so I don't know if Natty resigns, then like it may have just been a Dijak thing. I don't know.
With the exception of Mia Yim, anyone who had any kind of retribution stink on him, Triple H is just kind of avoided like the plague.
And honestly, even poor Mia is like, she's had a really weird run. Right. Like, he clearly likes it.
She's gotten her confidence back, it seems, because she's been good the last month.
Yeah.
I call her Meechin hilariously.
Finn's deal got like really close, dude.
Well, Finn,
really close.
Well, the thing with Finn is I think he's different because I think Triple H has him set up like he's going to be there for life in that, like he's going to run NXT and like Finn, like with his training background and everything like that. Triple H has he has Fergal set up to fucking run that place one day.
There were two members of the Judgment Day. Their deals came like really, really close to being up. One of them
had the briefcase in there, like was like within a month or something like that. And he was finishing up.
My understanding is like that was almost one of those Monday Night War situations there. Like that was close, dude, with Priest. Like it got crazy, and a lot of those stories are they'll be out there more kind of thoroughly another day, you know, with more detail. Right now it's like everyone's whispering, but yeah, it's been an interesting time for certainly. I think they're starting to get ahead of these things, but there's some names that are still obviously in the crossfires. So hopefully everyone gets paid wherever they're getting paid, wherever they're grappling. All right.
I'm happy. I'm happy, by the way, Chad Gable re-signed. I think Chad Gable, for as much as people fantasy booked him in AEW, I think WWE is the place for him.
I agree.
I'm happy he re-signed.
I agree. And speaking of him, we're about to talk about him some because let's go to the men's Money in the Bank match, fellas. There you go, Jack. Andrade or Idolo, or is he's just Andrade now, right?
He is.
Can't we give him back Cien Almas? Can you not get that back? I like the. It's a
Drew McIntyre called him El Idiot and then got his ass beat for it, which really
should, as he should. Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, Chad Gable, Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. Money in the Bank ladder match. The way I want to approach this, fellas, I want to go through each member of the match, loose thoughts on how they're doing, and then what their chances of winning are. All right, we'll go through this one by one. We'll start with Andrade. Had a interesting return to the World Wrestling Federation. He came back at the Rumble. Seemed like he wasn't factored in for Mania, but then actually was factored in for Mania after all. I believe went on like a month vacation following WrestleMania, as all good wrestlers should. Won the WWF Speed title, including a triumphant victory over the Machine Gun Carl Anderson. And then sort of floated around and then has emerged on SmackDown, won a really hot triple threat match, it must be said, in Chicago, right? Mm-hmm. And this is a big moment for him in that I don't think it's being dramatic to say it would be a really big win for Andrade if coming out of this show on Sunday morning, he's one of the people we're talking about. You know, oh my God, Andrade looked great. I don't think he's winning, but I think that's important here, Bob. What have you made of Andrade's return, and what do you make of his place in this ladder match?
Yeah, like you said, it's kind of been all over the place. Coming back at the Rumble's tough when you don't have a set Mania plan, and he clearly did not. And he ended up in the Mania match anyway. But this kind of feels like the first time we've really been exposed to him in this run, and it is a huge spot for him. I think honestly, there's probably two guys who you would consider favorites in this match, and then he might be number 3. Honestly, I don't think he's going to win either, but of that crop of guys that aren't Drew or Jay, he probably has the best chance.
So we'll get to LA Knight in a second, but you have him above LA Knight in the odds?
Yeah, I think LA Knight's just going to beat Logan Paul at SummerSlam.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's a good call. Interesting one. Chris, what do you make of Andrade currently in WWE, and what do you think of his chances here?
You know how the long-running bit with Shinsuke has been he's just there to surf?
Yeah.
I think Andrade's just there to hang out with his wife when Charlotte gets back.
Well, I agree, and based on the fact that he took that 1 month vacation, I think that would suggest you're correct.
Yeah.
He's the one that I really, out of all the people in this match, he's the one that I really can't make a good solid case for as far as winning. I don't know how him with the briefcase fits into anything going forward in the next year.
I mean,
so it's tough.
It is, because I love him. He's one of my favorites, but he feels a distance away from being the WWE World Champion at the moment. It must be said. So I don't disagree with you. He got a great reaction in Chicago. Other than that, he ain't getting great reactions. He ain't really done anything, right? He's kind of just been around. Hopefully this match will help. Oracle, thoughts on Andrade, brother? Take it away.
Yeah, he got a great reaction in Chicago and realized it, and so started trying really hard in the match, and it ruled. And the match was really good for it. And he popped me tonight when he beat the shit out of Drew McIntyre for 5 seconds to start the brawl, and it made me want to see a match for them. I don't think he's going to win. I think he could do some cool shit in the match. I also think he could chill in the match. Depends on what he feels like doing. But he's a cool dude, so
he's really cool.
Pops me no matter what.
He's a guy who I'm more and more convinced that he's probably never going to have the run that I once envisaged when he was the NXT champ. I'm thinking bro, this dude's good. But he's going to stick around forever and be on one of the shows, and he's going to be cool as fuck, and we'll pop for him. And I think that's probably just who he's going to be at this point. I really want him to have a program with AJ when AJ's back. I think that would be great. They had a couple matches, I want to say, back in the olden days, 2018, 2019.
Yeah, TV.
TV, when Andrade just came up, right? I think it worked TV. But I'd love to have a program with Andrade as the babyface. I think those matches would be really fun. So, yeah, that'd be cool. But I don't see him winning here. Jackie, anything on Andrade?
What does he do here?
He looks cool. He wears sunglasses.
What exactly does he do here?
He just hangs out, man. He's the WWE Speed Champion. Yeah, exactly. It's one of the most prestigious prizes in all of sports.
Just funny to me, because when he was in AEW, people are like, well, if he ever goes back to WWE, watch the fuck out.
You and I did
what?
that.
What?
Yeah.
No,
I think this, it is what it is.
He'll probably be the star of the match. Not going to win. But if I don't know how Triple H wants to handle these Money in the Bank situations. If there was an outside the box, give the guy the briefcase and figure it out, it'd be him.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
By no means, if he did somehow win, I wouldn't be WTF was that or anything like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If he won tomorrow, Chris, you're right. If he won, I wouldn't be like, oh, what the fuck did they do? I'd be like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. I'd be like, oh, okay, let's see what because he's kind of like Priest last year at this time.
You're right.
Priest was probably a little bit more important because Judgment Day was still, one of the top acts, but yeah, it was. I don't think anyone really thought Priest was going to win that match last year.
Yeah.
And plus, Triple H and this regime, they're very online.
Yeah.
So like they could hear us talking shit about like, oh, what's Andrade doing? He's like, well, motherfucker, Money in the Bank. He's about to be a world champion. So go fuck yourselves.
Bob, who do you think? What account do you think is Triple H's burner?
That's a great question. I have been thinking about that quite a bit because he's clearly there. You know, you gotta figure that out, man. We got to get to the bottom of that.
Do you think it's?
Are we sure it's not Bob?
One of the famous blue checks we see all the time, or is it something really, really under the radar?
I don't know, dude. There's some candidates if you go in the blue check path. I'm not sure. I feel like that's one of Regal's at burners. Regal probably runs like Vintage Puro and Brit Rest Belters, you know, one of those. That's not a real account. Shout out Vintage Puro, they're a cool account. But yeah, I don't know. He's definitely online. Like Chris, I actually like the Priest comparison a lot because I was at Money in the Bank last year, and like when Priest won, people were kind of like, huh? It worked out okay. I mean, so yeah. You've kind of talked me into this in the sense that, like, I guess if you look at the other candidates, I guess there are two obvious names, as Bobby kind of outlined, and then it's like, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, to your point, Joe, like, it worked out because he won the Money in the Bank, and at that point, no one knew fucking CM Punk.
Yeah, the cult of personality.
Like, Money in the Bank, in some instances, it gives you, like, leeway. Like, all right, and we'll figure it out from there.
Jack, when Priest won the briefcase, CM Punk was the head booker of Collision.
Yeah, he was.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a different time. All right, there you go. Andrade. All right, let's move forward. Carmelo Hayes. He's I haven't minded Carmelo since he came. I think his presentation tapes I've talked about a lot. How like his presentation is very like new gen WWF. Like, let me tell you something. This guy's he's really cocky. You know, that's like his whole gimmick. It's fine. I think it works, and I think he's done a decent job of it. Not a great job, if I'm honest. To be fair to Jack's response there, I think he again. You know, we talk about Andrade. He would benefit massively from like a really big show in here, right? I mean, you look at him in this match, dude, a lot of these guys, like their bump cards filled up pretty quick. Carmelo's the guy who you're looking at to do some crazy shit in this match, really. He ain't winning it, but to me, that's where I kind of go here. Oracle, it feels like he needs a big performance here, honestly. How do you think he's done thus far?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like the undercard like nuisance that he is, I think he plays the role pretty well. I've never been a fan of his in the ring, but this is definitely the type of match where he can kind of do some crazy stunts and some big spots for some pops, and you know if he does well enough and does makes a name for himself enough, it will obviously help him in the long run, but. I mean, I don't think he'll win the match, but he'll definitely be a signature point in the match where do a dive off a ladder, do one of his springboards into a ladder, some crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
Very, very much a match designed for a high flyer like him, or at least he's very much got like springboard based offense, which is not my favorite type of thing, but he definitely does stuff like that a lot, and it's a perfect match for him.
It feels like for this match to really rock the house, he actually needs him to be that guy here, right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Jack, you didn't sound enthralled when I brought up Carmelo Hayes, brother.
Because for some reason, he could be a player. But I think I told you this before, Joe. Oracle, Chris, Bob, you guys who watch the WWF all the time, correct me if I'm wrong. He seems like nervous.
Yeah.
Definitely nervous.
On the main roster.
For sure.
Seems like nervous. Like I watched him. I was talking to Joe one night I watched him on SmackDown. He cut a promo. I was like, he seems like nervous. Like
It was when he was in the crowd.
calm down.
Yeah.
Like just calm down, brother. Do what you're doing. It's not the guy that I saw in NXT.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair point.
He's like nervous.
There was a backstager, might have been a month ago at this point, with him and LA Knight.
Yeah.
And he completely
got
switched.
eaten alive.
He
LA
got-
Knight ate him
Yeah.
alive.
Well, and he was talking about Logan Paul, but he called Logan Paul LA Knight, and LA Knight's like, I'm standing right here. What are you talking about? Yeah.
and credit to LA, like that, like you have to keep the kid on his toes. Like, all right, come on. Like
You can't pretend like that didn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he just seemed like I'm not discrediting him at all. But like this shit, like he was in NXT and like all I saw, like I don't watch NXT. That shit sucks.
Yeah.
But all I would see on Twitter is like world champion. This guy's world champion. This guy's fucking world champion. Greatest of all time. This guy, world champion. So then I see him on the main roster. It's like, dude, he's nervous. Like, calm down. Like, just do your job. But he just can't. I don't know.
It also felt like to me he got outshined by his bodyguard, who ended up becoming the biggest star in NXT.
Yeah.
Trick ended up kind of leaping him in some ways, and Trick still has a lot of work to do. But
even still, Oracle, I think the biggest star in NXT, who gives a shit?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And who still has a lot of work to do. So like you should block that out and go, well, fuck that. That's gone. Here's what I'm doing now. And it seems like he's just, I don't know, like he needs to find something.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it is. But again, in a case like his, like maybe we all think of him as this good heel, right? Maybe it's babyface.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think I'll
switch
say
up.
this, Jack. I
And
think
you
it would
go,
help his
okay,
matches. I'll say that.
let's
I think
try
it would help
this.
his matches. Yeah. I do think it would help his matches because
He beat Randy Orton.
he did beat Randy Orton, which shouts Randy Orton because that is kind of crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy when you think
Fucking
about
rain.
it.
I didn't watch SmackDown tonight, by the way, but I saw it like him looking at Cody.
Bravo.
That shit gets me amped up. Like this Cody Randy feud is going to fucking, I'm sorry for saying this, cook.
Bastion Berlin.
Cody and Randy is going to fucking cook.
Bastion Berlin.
Randy's gonna fucking murder
At the
him.
earliest.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be later than that.
Bad
Slow burn,
Blood
brother.
in Atlanta.
Bad Blood.
There
You know
you
that's
go.
a tribute to Bad Blood in 1997. Have you heard about that, Oracle? It's a tribute. There's been creative pitches.
I would kill for them.
Kill?
Like I know people are saying Drew and Punk.
Oh.
Put Cody and Randy in a cell and tell them the blades are free, brothers. Blades are free.
Randy, dude, if Randy bladed right now, he might turn into fucking Venom. Fucking symbiote will take over his skin. It will transform with our eyes. Yeah.
I'm
Dude,
showing
scary.
my wife the clip, the viral clip when they announced him at 275 pounds, and he's like, up. I'm
Yeah,
290.
He was saying there was an interview where he was talking about he's like this is actually my natural weight. It's like you're right, bro. Whatever you say, it sounds good.
God bless him. Like
That's
that is
bullshit
a
because I watched
professional.
My Way Out 2008 the other night, and that motherfucker was not that big on that.
Randy Orton is a professional wrestler.
Fact.
That is a professional wrestler.
Oh, he's fucking awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that clip went out. Yeah, where he's like, I 290. I've been eating, and then tonight while he's walking in the arena behind Cody and KO, he's got a plate of food and he's shoveling it in his mouth. That is awesome.
What a beast. He's
This
awesome.
version of Randy is my favorite. I'm sorry. Like this is where he's cementing himself as one of the GOATs.
Yeah.
He
People
really
love him,
is.
dude.
Like
It's-
Randy Orton.
Oh. People love him.
Fucking hell, he rules.
He's like the roster's dad. It's very funny. Very funny timeline. certainly.
Well, yeah, like Chad Gable said when he took him to the corner in the locker room. It was like, listen, brother, you got it. Like you have.
I didn't
this.
see that. That's cool.
Oh, you didn't see that?
No.
Chad said that
they should wrestle.
Randy took him in the locker room and said, listen, you got this. You're not the next Kurt Angle. Fuck that shit. You're you. You got this.
That's cool, dude.
And Chad was like, whoa, holy shit.
From what I understand, that's kind of what he like. That's kind of what he does now. So it's cool. It's definitely, he's come a long way on that front. Like, certainly. Bobby?
Yep.
Carmelo Hayes. Him or not?
He's okay. I think he'll have a good showing in this match. I think he's there to kind of do a couple cool bumps. He's very small. So that's going to be something that he's going to have to maybe not work on. I don't know how much he can do about it, but probably overcome. But we'll see.
I don't know how much he can do about it. Not much, Bob, to be honest with you, mate. Like,
small.
Like I said, it was a question as to what I mean. He could wear lips and get up to, I'm not gonna make that
little
joke.
Guy. Okay, Rover.
Jesus, Chris. Anything on Carmelo Hayes before we move to Chad Gable here?
Love you, Bob.
So I actually think I was trying to think of a good comp, like a good historical comp of a winner. And I couldn't really think of a perfect one. Maybe Corbin. Like, I think if it's not Drew, I think Carmelo's actually like the
really
one. Yeah,
maybe.
because I think Jay's too obvious. They've been hammering that home so hard. He's on the, he's the main guy on the promotional material. He was the first guy to announce he wanted to be in it. So I don't think it's going to be him. LA Knight, like, are you going to really have him cash in on Cody at some point? Because it's clear Cody's holding on to the belt until at least Mania next year.
Mm-hmm.
The final boss.
What's that?
I said the final boss.
Yes. And then we already talked about Andrade and Gable's kind of So I really do think that if it's not Drew, I think Carmelo, because then you can take your time with him and build him up. I would handle it a lot better than how they handled Corbin's after he won. I wouldn't have him lose to John Cena at SummerSlam or anything like that. But yeah, I think if it's not Drew, I think Carmelo's got a good chance.
To your point, he is certainly the character among these that you could most see having the briefcase for a long time and cutting promos in the exact fashion he's been cutting promos, just with the briefcase. So I actually see what you're thinking there. I get that. Maybe, dude. Maybe like he did pin Randy Orton. Oracle said it. That does mean something, dude. There's like only 2 people have pinned him, I think, since he came back. Maybe 2. So yeah, maybe. Chad Gable, we've talked about him quite a bit. Of course, he is. I think there could be some shenanigans at play here. I think we might have some White Six business taking over the Money in the Bank. Feels like that's going to happen here. To me personally, I think at some point in this match, Chad Gable was going to have this thing won. And that sound that I can't describe, but if you watch wrestling, you know what I'm talking about. It's going to hit, and the people are going to go nuts, and the music will play, and Nicola Cross will emerge. And I mean, I think Toronto's going to go fucking nuts when that happens, to be honest with you. So I think that's what's going to happen here. Chris, thoughts on Gable's chances and his recent kind of direction with White Six and such?
Yeah, his involvement with them kind of makes me think he's probably not going to win. I was thinking if he did win, you could do something down the line. Once you finally get to the actual split off point between him and Gable or him and Otis, you could do a match with them, because that's the one thing that I think they should do more often. They've done it a few times, obviously with Otis most recently, but like not every month like a title. But I wouldn't mind people putting the briefcase up every now and then.
Yeah,
so you could do something with him and Otis trying to like
redeem himself.
Exactly. But yeah, I don't think it's very likely that old Chad Gable wins.
I don't either, and I get why people feel a certain way about that. I get that a lot of big Chad Gable fans are not thrilled that he's on a collision course with Uncle Howdy. I understand. I get it. Like, I completely understand it. But these are the games we play, Bobby. What do you reckon, Chad Gable?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you guys. I think the wives are going to show up. Honestly, we do just kind of have to let this one play out. Like, so far, it's been fine. There's been ups and downs so far in the 3 weeks, but I think if there's a guy to put him with, it is probably Chad Gable. Over the past year, he's kind of developed that sort of range, and obviously very good in the ring. But he has the range now to be in that sort of role too, and I'm looking forward to it.
So, like, genuine question, not even being a dick, because I don't follow it as closely. What would you say have been the downs?
For the Wyatts,
Yeah.
I'm
not saying you're wrong. I honestly don't genuinely.
I didn't like the segment this week as much as the one last week. I don't know if it was necessarily a down. It just kind of felt like they didn't really capitalize on what they did last week. They just
repetitive, wasn't it? It was a little
kind of redundant.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, got you.
It was almost like it was one big long thing that they split into two and showed one part 1 week and one part the other week. I was really hoping we were going to get a similar thing that they did with Howdy with the other. I mean, we might still, but I want to see. I'm more interested. Like, I know Bo's motivation. I want to hear from the other people.
I agree. And in the exact same format would be cool.
Yes,
right? Where it's like that would be sick. Yeah, I'm with
whether
you
it's whether it's their alter egos doing the interview, or even if you keep Uncle Howdy as the one doing the interview. Yeah. Either way, I don't care. But I want to hear from Nikki. I want to hear from
because it will help. It will flesh the group out. I agree completely. So my thing on the live stuff, I get not everyone likes the stuff with like the lighting and stuff, but to me it's like, I don't know, man. WWE has like its own. Is the WWE rule set and parameters are weird, right? Like the Undertaker is like one of the most iconic WWE characters ever, and he broke an awful lot of rules in terms of logic. Like it is what it is.
He died and came back to life like 12 times.
That's the thing, yeah. Like to me, it's not. It's never going to be Mid-South, and that's okay.
But
I think it's.
I think they've been very, like, especially this. I noticed it on this past Monday when they were doing the thing where Gable was in the ring and then he was running away through the crowd. Like they didn't try at all to hide the fog machines. So like like I think they're being, without outright saying, "Here's the fog machine." They're like, "Here's the fog machine."
Yeah. So I also think with that stuff, it's like, at the end of the day, and I know this sounds lazy, but this is, to me, it's just the way it is. It's like, if the people are responding to that degree, I don't think you have to like tie yourself up in knots. It's like, it's also, it depends where it's at. Oracle and I've talked about this for a long time when it comes to this thing. If they're not challenging for the world's title, it can also kind of be its own quirky part of the show that the people like. Sure. And, that's another topic for another day, I guess. Oracle, Chad Gable, what do you reckon?
Yeah, Gable's awesome. I think he's he's what, the number one mid card heel in on Raw, which is a great spot to have. I think he's obviously great in the ring. I think he's great as a face or a heel. I think he's been a good heel promo. Back when the Alpha Academy were heel a couple years ago, I thought he was good. And I think he's good here as a heel promo. I think he's better as a promo as a heel than he is a face. But yeah, I think he's awesome. I think I pretty much agree wholeheartedly that he's gonna have a shot to win, and that weird noise is gonna happen. That sounds like someone turning off an old like Atari game or whatever the hell. I don't know. And like he's the Wyatt Six are gonna come out. And,
sounds like they're deactivating the tractor beam on the desk.
There you go. And Michael Cole's gonna go that thing. He'll call Nikki Cross that thing, and she'll come out and hand him another VHS. And let me say what Michael Cole like trying to quickly explain what a VHS is for people
that
under
is
25. It's
crazy,
hilarious.
Did everyone see Michael Cole get hugged by a child today?
No, that sounds incredible.
They did the kickoff or whatever, and Triple H pulled some little girl who was in the front row up on stage, and she was, because she said something like, "I want to be like you," and he's like, "Be something better than me," blah blah blah. And then, like, she was getting ready to get off the stage, and then she's like, "Can I hug Michael Cole?"
she
ran over
she
and
said
hugged
to
Michael Cole.
Triple H, "I want to be like you," and he said, "Trust me, I don't even want to be out here right now. I want to be sitting. I want to be sitting at home. They keep forcing me to come to these things. You don't want to be like me. You want to be like Mike Cole. He's a broadcast journalist." That's tremendous. I didn't see that. That's that rules. Jackie Crosby, Chad Gable. What do you reckon? Any chance?
Love him? No.
All right. Let's move to surely one of the favorites, one of the main characters of WWE's 2024, no doubt, Drew McIntyre. We all know, or we all think anyway. We're all pretty confident, I think, on what Drew's big match is this summer. The question is, does the build for that match potentially involve a cash-in, or I think more specifically, a failed cash-in? I don't know if you need to go to that well here, to be honest with you, because I think while Punk obviously is going to want revenge for getting killed, to me that can just be the match. I don't think that needs to be another thing where he costs Drew and they go. I don't know. I also feel like it's a little bit of a waste, even though I don't like this step. It feels like, I don't know. I'm not big on the idea of Drew winning. It's got to be honest. Oracle, take it away. Go.
I'm at the point now where Punk needs to come back, brawl him on Raw, and they need to make the match.
Make the match, yeah.
I'm tired of the cost. It was fine at Clash of the Castle. It's over with now.
Yeah.
Because if they do it again, it's beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just gotta have Punk come back, have a big wild brawl, pull apart with all the officials, and have the match made.
I think they can do that.
You know what I mean? I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Drew, the theories on Twitter are hilarious though. Like AJ Lee showing up and pushing the ladder.
that would be cool.
That actually would pop me.
It would be incredible if that.
Larry scampers up the ladder and bites him.
Maybe.
He's got the wrist thing.
The friendship bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I think Drew still has a shot to win this. But even if he does, I think they can get away with. He can still hold the briefcase, and we don't have to worry about Kim getting screwed and all this other shit. I just want them to focus on Punk coming back in a few weeks, fighting him, and having a match made. None of this.
Yeah.
We're there now.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Chris, where do you stand on this?
So I agree with what Oracle is saying. I think they can do, whether it's an actual cash-in or an attempted cash-in that's thwarted before he technically cashes in. They can do all that, and then on Monday, you announce the match, similar to how they announced the Drew Priest match, at Queen and King of the Ring. Because you got 4 weeks this time instead of 3, but still, that should be your first match announced. So whatever, I don't. Is SummerSlam completely sold out yet? I don't know. If it's not, that gives people 4 weeks of knowing that that's your marquee match for SummerSlam to get that place sold out.
In fact, they'll have 3, right? Because they have the 2 title matches, and then this is the big one they can announce on Monday.
Right. Mm-hmm. True. Good point. But yeah, I think to piggy off of Bob's point from last time, at some point you do have to give Drew something. Yes, Clash was not the right time, but but he got his physical revenge on Punk a few weeks ago in Chicago. You have him win the briefcase, and then you set up at the end of the night. You've got the same 3 players, in Seth and Priest and Drew, and like I said, you don't even have to make it a failed cash in. You can stop him, right? Just stop him from actually cashing in.
Yeah.
And then for the next 4 weeks, Drew's back to being so tunnel vision on Punk and the match at SummerSlam that, he doesn't even really, outside of carrying the thing, he doesn't really bother with the briefcase. And then, have him cash in, later on in the year. Him and Gunther, I'm for that at some point.
I kind of think that's what's going to happen now that the point you made about the same three people, that really sounds like a Triple H booking. That sounds like something he would do, Yeah, that's kind of convinced me. Jack, do you think Drew McIntyre's going to win this thing?
No.
You don't?
No.
Wow. Okay. All right, we'll wait then to see who your pick is. Anything else on Drew before we move to Bobby, Jack?
No. Go on.
Bobby? Drew McIntyre, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with Chris, actually. Like, you have him win and hold the briefcase past SummerSlam. I know he said, like, the whole thing at the end of Raw was, I'm going to win, I'm going to cash in. But, like, having Punk stop him before he can cash in and then, keeping that briefcase for however long. Because the Punk thing, obviously, it's going to be multiple matches. But, when that's done, Drew still has the briefcase. And, who knows how those matches will be spaced out anyway. I mean, I don't think it's going to be, 3 matches and 3 pay-per-views with Drew and Punk. I think they're going to spread it out a little more, so he's got to have stuff to do in the meantime. Yeah, I think Drew is my pick here.
Or another thing you could do, because Drew's also like paranoid that management is against him, you can mess with the match order. I wouldn't do this especially because I think we're gonna have a title change in the world title match. But you could have Pierce or whoever mess with the match order, and then so you have the world title match before the men's Money in the Bank, and then that just pisses Drew off more because he was going to win and cash in. Yeah,
that's interesting too because that is entirely in line with who he's been. So yeah, I could see that. All right, let's get to the master of the Yeet, J.U. So Jackie, is this your pick to win the Money in the Bank ladder match?
He is, and I think that eventually he's going to cash in on Dwayne.
Dwayne Johnson? The Rock?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
I think Jey Uso is going to win this match, and it's part of this fucking cinema bloodline story. Not only are people going to get what they were asking for, he's going to cash in on Dwayne.
Okay, it's 2 things. One, I actually do entirely buy that Dwayne Johnson's way of losing the belt would be a cash-in, so maybe.
Yeah. 2,
there will never be another Jack Crosby. That's all I have to say. Never know where you're going. I think it's almost impossible, but you've convinced me there's a chance because I can just imagine Dwayne pitching it.
Yeah.
Oh, I beat Cody.
I fucking think that, again, the cinema bloodline, and people Jay should get his flowers, and this is how it's done. Jay's gonna win this. Dwayne is gonna beat Cody for that title. I don't know where. I don't know when.
The WrestleMania.
And Jay's gonna cash in on Dwayne.
He's gonna cash in the night after Mania, bro. Because Dwayne's gonna have to go and do a shitty movie by then. He's gonna win the belt at Mania, and Jay's gonna cash in the night after.
I don't.
And then Jacob will beat him for the belt, and then Roman. Listen,
I'm probably wrong, but it's just a gut feeling. Like Jay's gonna win this, and he's gonna cash in on Dwayne.
I'm just gonna yellow legal pad out to write this down. Right. I love it, Jack. I love you so much. Bob, explain why Jack is correct.
Yeah, Jack, you tweeted about this yesterday, and I'm glad you're here to explain it because I did think you were doing a bit to play off the McIntyre stuff. But now I know you actually believe this, and I appreciate that.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. And, it's not crazy. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen, but it's not crazy for the reasons that were laid out. You look at the champions right now, I don't think Jay's going to cash in on Cody, obviously, and I don't think he really fits the 4 or 5 other guys ahead of him in the world title picture on Raw. So it's not the worst idea. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's not crazy.
And Roman would be okay with it too. Like if you're going to bring them all back together, and if Roman, if this is going to be a babyface bloodline, Roman's going to have to be like, all right, listen, I'm sorry for being such a dick. And like, this is Roman's way of saying, go, get it, get yours.
Oh, I like plethora right there. Imagine you're in Las Vegas sitting with Contrarian Alex, Joe. And it's night 2 of WrestleMania. It's been a long weekend. Dwayne has beaten Cody. The final boss has beaten Cody.
Fucking Jay.
Roman Reigns has spears Dwayne The Rock Johnson to set up their match for WrestleMania 42. And Jey Uso, just like Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 31, comes out, hits the top rope splash, and he comes into the crowd and
Let's fucking go.
Fucking yes.
This could be if something even resembling this happens, you may need to close the platform down. Because it would be that triumphant of a moment. It would be incredible. Chris, are you convinced by the incredible pivot of Jackie Crosby here on the Late Night Grin? What do you reckon?
I'm not convinced, but
Fair.
well, first, Jack missed a golden opportunity to follow up on his Drew McIntyre should beat The Rock from last time by
True.
saying Drew wins Money in the Bank and then cashes in The Rock.
Yeah, fuck that. No.
Giving up on that now.
I think the Jey idea is better too. You know?
No, I know. Secondly, if Cody does in fact have to drop the belt to Dwayne at WrestleMania, I hope Cody puts in a Shawn Michaels SummerSlam 2005 performance. And then thirdly, yeah, I just, like I said earlier, it's they've been a little too heavy-handed with Jey this whole time that I just don't think he's winning. Like Bob said, he doesn't really fit in because unless he does cash in on The Rock, but I don't know. So yeah, I just don't. Yeah. I don't think, especially because I think we're going to be before too long here. I think he's going to be back in the tag team, at least if not full time, at least part time. So
yeah,
I just don't see it.
Right. I think Chris is right. They have been heavy handed. I think Usos are about to reunite, but
you guys hate fun.
But Jack's really
you don't like fun. I like fun.
We're broadcast journalists, Jack. You're an outlaw around here, bro. You know that. You know,
So,
you work for CBS.
I think Jey. I still think Jey's winning this match. I think Drew's a close two for me, but I think Jey's still winning.
There you go.
I like Jack's idea. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen. I hope it does, because it would pop me huge. But I think Jey's winning just because I think he's got to win something as a singles guy. He can't just go back to be a tag team, and then he's got to be successful somewhere as a singles.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we're doing this Jey Uso shit, and he doesn't win a fucking thing.
Yeah, he doesn't win anything.
I love that you said.
I get it. Like, he sucks in the ring now, but I mean, like, he's so over. You know, you get the whole thing. You main event Jey Uso. I mean, shit, you got to give him something.
Look, I will always acknowledge that the internet and real life are two different things. And a lot of people on here shit on Jey Uso. But I'm also not fucking stupid or blind. And when I turn on Raw, they fucking love him. Like, fans love him.
His entrance tonight was insane.
Yeah,
like, they had all these cool lights and stuff.
Awesome.
Like, it was awesome.
Yeah,
like, it doesn't matter what I think of him or any Twitter account thinks. These fans that are paying their money to go to these arenas love him. So
he's one of their biggest stars, legitimately, right now. He's beloved, dude. It's crazy. It's amazing how over he is, legitimately.
If I may, Joe,
yes, mate.
I will go ahead and say that LA Knight will almost win, and Logan Paul will cost him, and that will set up.
Yeah, and even if Logan doesn't directly cost him, we all agree that that's what LA's doing, right? Yeah. He's going to beat Logan Paul for the US belt. That's so we can move on there. We'll jump
real quick back to Jey. I mean, I know we all kind of expect Wyatt Six involvement for Gable. If that doesn't happen, or they just want to turn this into a big, run-in fest in this match,
which they could,
they could. And depending on match placement, I could also, we had that one interaction backstage with the new Bloodline and Jey a couple pay-per-views ago. I could see maybe them getting, especially now that Solos fully came out and said, nah, fuck Roman, I'm the tribal chief now. I could see them getting involved in costing Jey as well.
Can Jacob get into Canada? He can't,
allegedly.
Right?
So allegedly, on the graphic tonight they showed, it was obviously the three baby faces. On the Bloodline side, the three bigger was Solo, Jacob, and Tama,
Yeah,
and
Tama.
Tonga Loa was like the small guy in the back.
They basically confirmed Jacob's wrestling tomorrow, which is kind of crazy because
That match could be beast, man.
yeah, we're about to get to it.
If Jacob's fucking,
We're about
Dude,
exactly. We'll get
they're
there.
gonna have a problem on their hands. Like he is so fucking good. Like Jacob, like they have a problem on their hands, like a good problem. He's so fucking good.
I'll explain it in a minute, but that graphic Chris is referencing like changed my excitement level for this show. We'll get to it. Firstly, some super chats. Good brother, Harv says cataloging physical media while enjoying the Grin. I was cataloging
It's
earlier.
a compliment or a...
I got 4 new. I got best of '96 WWF, nice set. Small set, but a nice set. Go on, Oracle. What are you gonna say, mate?
Oh no, I was gonna let you say yours, and I was gonna say mine.
Okay, I'll finish. So I got the Randy RKO out of nowhere set, which looks pretty sweet.
I want that one.
That looks cool. I've got unreleased matches of Roddy Piper, which I'm sure will be interesting. And I've got the United We Slam Great American Bash set.
I got that one recently. I think I sent you guys the photo.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
The 3 I got recently were I got WrestleManias 38 and 39. Both great manias.
Both.
And I got the final WWE DVD in the history of WWE home video.
Wow.
Survivor Series 2023 with the Code Man on the front.
Dude.
The return of CM Punk. When I saw it at my local, buy and trade store that I go to, McKay's, I said, you know what? I can't pass this up. It's the last one. I got to get it now.
Dude, it didn't get a UK release. How nasty is that? That's crazy, right? For us, it ended with like Fastlane.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but there you go, Harv. Physical media talk for you. Shout out to you, bro. I hope you're well. Cody, thrilled for Money in the Bank. Also, 7 Saturdays till college football. Oh,
yeah, Blue.
Yeah.
We're all thrilled about that.
Go Blue, Bobby.
Good camera.
Yeah.
Go Gamecocks. 4-8. Woo!
I just hope everyone enjoys the game.
Yeah, you're fucked, buddy.
Oh, yeah. We're fucked forever.
Fucking all the group chats are about to get ruined. Oh, mate says, grinning late bits from ear to ear. God bless Jack. Congrats on the Lakers picking up your 10-day option. Did Joe pass on your cut from your birthday house? Jack Crosby has never been, and this is a shoot. Jack Crosby has never made a single dime from the late night Grin. Not one. And I think you like it that way. That's what I tell myself anyway. Right? I think you like it that way.
I love this so much. I don't ask Joe for shit.
You just links. That's all you need. You need a link and you're good to go. It's I have a spreadsheet now because now that we have super chats, I have to work out who's on what shows.
Yeah, I'm dead serious about that. I love this so much.
He's the best, folks. Jack Crosby, founding father. Founding father. Lakers to God.
That means more than money, right, Jack?
Yeah. Respect. Stature. Yeah, Jack's a man of integrity. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate it. All right, let's get to it, Jack. You and I we could barely contain ourselves, my guys. Let's get to it now. Thanks for the super chat, folks. We appreciate the love. Smash the like, all that stuff. Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton versus the Bloodline. I was like kind of a couple of hours ago, my interest in this show was dwindling because I don't like ladder matches. And, like I was looking at the card and I was thinking, it ain't going to be Jacob because Jacob ain't going to be against Canada. So it's going to be fucking the infamous Tungaloa, who, as funny and adorable as Tungaloa is, I don't want to watch him wrestle. But they did the graphic tonight and Jacob appears to be in this fucking match. And that changes this entire thing. Because not only is Jacob in the match, this is his debut, which means this whole match is probably going to be like built around his like insane feats of athleticism. I think we all know the finish here. Solo's going to get himself a big win here. I'm pretty sure that's obvious. Mm-hmm. But Jacob gives this an X factor and like a real hook for me personally. Jack, go for it.
This should be like Solo gets the win. But a big part of this, I would think, would be Jacob mostly beats the shit out of Randy Orton. like we talked about Randy
Really
being
nice.
like Jacob for a good majority of this match should beat the fuck out of Randy.
That would be a statement. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like beat the shit out of him. And then with this format, that's something you put in your back pocket for later. You never know, like how much Randy has left in him and what Jacob's gonna do. And but like Solo should get the win, but a big part of this should be Jacob just pummeling Randy. And Kevin just being Kevin.
I think it will be Kevin that plays the role, but I actually like your pitch a lot.
I was
Because
saying the
think
same
it
thing,
would
Joe.
make a statement.
Given what Kevin revealed tonight in his promo, like I think if Kevin takes the majority of the heat, that builds a whole lot of sympathy from the crowd.
And Kevin's the bump man here, right?
Can
He's
I
the
ask
bump
you
man.
guys something while we're on this before I
Of course you
forget?
can, Jack.
Yeah.
When can we get Kevin another world title reign?
I think we got to wait a while. I do think he'll get another one before
He's
he
so
retires.
good now.
But yeah,
So
I do think we're going to wait a while. He's fucking awesome, dude.
He has had a stellar career. Like when you say
Unbelievable.
WWE Hall of Fame, like
for sure.
First ballot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But his one world title run was a load of bullshit.
bad.
Yes.
Like, can we get him a legitimate?
I think he'll get one. Yeah.
Like,
I think he's a
top
ways
guy?
away. But yeah.
Like,
I think
fuck.
I don't think it's going to happen while he's on this side of things, because Cody's belt, I think, is Cody's belt for the foreseeable, and it will kind of be, I think he's one draft away from being right in that picture, though, right? Like, I mean, the other belt, I think,
Versus
will jump
Luther.
around.
I said,
oh my god, yeah.
I said on one of these streams a long time ago, I forget when it was. I think Kevin would be a great heel for Cody.
I agree. I think he might actually be.
I think Kevin would be fucking fantastic.
I agree.
To
completely.
feud with Cody and beat him.
That's a fresh match, dude. It's a fresh match. So,
he'd be so good.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I think he will get. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, I would love to see him get a world title, but I think we're also all just like amazed at how far this has gone, right? Like I know you're aware of this, Jack, but he main evented WrestleMania against Steve Austin.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's what makes it so crazy. Like, you don't like. I feel like I'm shorting him, but it's.
I get what you mean. Yeah,
and that was the one guy. Like they said, like Steve Austin didn't trust anyone on that roster to take care of him except Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude.
He was like,
when they were
that
trying,
guy.
because he almost worked last year's WrestleMania, and they couldn't get an opponent he wanted to do anything with. So, like, you're right. Yeah, he's been incredible. He's going to be key to this match. The ceiling of this match really depends on how much Kevin's in it. Like, genuinely, this match could honestly be spectacular. Like, with Jacob in there, and if it's a hot Toronto crowd, with these three baby faces, SmackDown's like All Stars, SmackDown's Avengers, bro, this thing could be fucking incredible. Super, super high ceiling on this, Oracle. What do you think?
Oh yeah, so with everything that the Bloodline stuff has done the last couple of weeks, with two incredible angles, with Jacob's debut and then destroying Paul Heyman, which is one of the great, shocking beatdowns they've ever done.
That pop.
Oh my God!
When Paul told him he was not his tribal chief, that place exploded.
Kevin Owens promo tonight. I mean, that dude is going to go fucking nuts tomorrow. And he's going to have like a spectacle moment with like Jacob Fatu where they fucking brawl. And like Kevin Owens is going to like fucking do his thing where he screams and shit. And like Jacob Fatu is going to take like an insane bump for Kevin Owens' offense at one point, and it's going to fucking rule. And like, yeah, KO is going to get his ass beat by the end of the match, but like, it's still going to be so awesome. I'm pretty confident this could be pretty damn beast, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance now. I don't necessarily think it's a high chance, but we've had it now. I think there's a chance, Kevin Owens gets his ass beat late in the match, probably late in the match, and he runs a fucking razor. And he's out there on the floor getting put through a table with his blood covered, with the blood covering his face, having a crimson mask. And I think Cody takes his third pin here.
I agree.
And Solo will pin him. And we'll have the road to SummerSlam ahead with Cody and Solo. I think this is going to be very potentially the match of the night here. I think this could be pretty upset.
I tend to agree. Yeah, I'm very, very high hopes, especially with Jacob. I think that changes the match. And I'm not even doing that to be like to dunk on Tungala. Like, it is what it is. It's it's a different piece. Chris, you have been, if you go back through the Grins, the WWE preview show, you've been consistent on Roman comes back at SummerSlam after Cody versus Solo. And at this point, that I don't want to say a lock, but like as close as I think you can be 6 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like it feels
especially after tonight, with Solo saying what he said about Roman in that ending video package.
Yeah,
and then Cody beats Solo, and then Roman comes out and is like, "What now, bitch?" Like who's failed the family now? I've been watching the WWF for the better part of 35 years, so I think I got a pretty good handle on that.
It's your role on the show. You're the one who predicts things correctly. I'm here for my yellow legal pad. Jack's here for his outlaw takes. Everyone has a role. What was you going to say, Chris? Carry on, mate. Go for it.
This, I agree with Jack that I think the Priest Seth match will technically probably be the quote unquote better match. I have no doubt this will be my favorite match.
Yeah.
I'd love it if don't set it up the exact same way, but I'd love it if just like in France, they just turn this into a all out brawl and just let them go nuts in the crowd and whatnot. The way SmackDown started last week, like the thought of these 6 men just having a regular 6-man tag match is kind of like it'd still be good, but it's like I want to. Someone said I want to see a swanton bomb from Owens from the in the crowd. I want to see all the plunder and shenanigans in this match.
Yeah, I think it's the only with the build. I think it has to be that. To be honest,
this time you have Aldous get ahead of it before they even go out. Last time it was they had come out and couldn't do it. But now I think this time you just have all this like, look, I know what happens when you 6 guys get in each other. So this is now no DQ, go nuts.
Yeah, and I think even if it isn't that formally, it'll be worked that way. I think it'll be a lot of ringside brawling and just and chaos. So yeah, I'm very, very excited for this for sure.
I just want to really quick.
Yeah, go on.
When Roman Reigns comes back,
I think people are going to be pretty excited.
There was a tweet I responded to about a week ago when somebody said, "Who's closer to GOAT status, John Cena or Roman Reigns?"
Uh-oh.
I said John Cena right now.
Uh-oh.
But
yep.
When Roman comes back and this babyface run, he's gonna pass John by miles.
Wow, did you see Bob did a very confident nod there. You're all in on this, Bobby.
Yeah. Well, Cena never had the heel run. Obviously. Roman had the big one, and
Roman had a 4-year fucking run as this badass motherfucker.
And then, I don't know.
And now
could come back and finally have the top babyface run that they tried for 10 years, and
it's really more like a 1.5 year run though when you think about it.
Yeah.
In every arena, going, we want Roman.
Oh yeah.
Like, Jesus fucking Christ. And then he's going to come back, and he is just... The thing is, he's cool.
He is very cool.
Yeah. He has that Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm sorry, and John never had that. Roman has... Now, with the heel run, Roman has the cool factor that Austin had of, when that
He's
music hits,
definitely cooler than John.
Someone's going to get fucked up.
The problem is, I don't know if Roman's going to have a run.
Like he's still going to be.
Yeah,
that's the only, and I'm sure they'll figure out a way to do it. But that's my only. I'm very confident in what I've been saying for months about how this is all going to play out. My only hang up about it is how do you do that with Roman as a baby face, but disappearing for weeks and months at a time?
That's the thing. Yeah. Because that does matter. I mean, I don't think any of us mean it in the negative.
I think it makes it better. I think it makes it better. Honestly,
and maybe it does. It very well could, but yeah, I'll have to see it to make that.
Not seeing him every week. I think
it depends how often we see him, though, Jack. Because he legitimately was 2023. He was entirely absent almost. He was hardly ever around, dude. I don't know. We'll see. We'll circle back. Bob was very confident, though, which doesn't bode well for your prediction, Jack. Bob agreed. That probably suggests you got it wrong, to be honest with you, but we'll see. All right. Jumanji Hunter said, we'll be sick. This is Super Chat. Thank you, Jumanji Hunter. He said, we'll be sick if Jacob got the pin and SummerSlam. I think Jacob's going to get a hella shine. He's going to work with Cody at some point, right? But I think SummerSlam is the solo thing. I feel like that's going to be the full program. Probably they're going to take around towns. They're right, Jacob and Cody probably.
Mm-hmm.
Assume.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about Jacob Bartu's ascension. I think he's going to be pretty swiftly climbing the ladder there. Thank you for the super chat. Andy super chat says, could Drew finally get the belt by cashing in on Punk? That'd be a nice touch of irony. What's the temperature on the program carrying the summer for me? The program's one of the top things in the promotion, no doubt.
Yeah.
We talked about earlier, Chris, you kind of outlined, the idea that Drew wins the briefcase and has it throughout the Punk feud. Perhaps that's where he cashes it in on a fairy tale winning CM Punk, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't see Punk beating Gunther.
That's the issue. Yeah, that's the issue.
That's the only problem with that is I just don't see Punk beating Gunther at any point. So
yeah, it's hard right now to really picture the belt on Punk in general when he's gotten hurt the past couple times that he's had these big matches, and he's but WrestleMania and he hasn't been hurt and he's still firing on all cylinders, sure. But yeah, you got to be careful with that, I think.
Yeah, I think
it's like betting on the Clippers.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I don't think he's likely to win it, but he could he could genuinely be back for 3 weeks and he'd be like, oh, Punk's definitely going to win this belt. He's
sure.
I'll be completely real. When he got hurt in the Rumble, I was kind of like, fuck, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
And he's in the hottest program. You can't kill him, can you? He's unbelievable in that regard. So we'll see. Interesting question, though. I do like the idea of the cash-in, in a vacuum. I like that a lot, actually. So, an interesting one. Thank you, Andy, for the super chat. All right. Let's talk about Women's Money in the Bank. We have Chelsea Green. We have Io Sky. We have Lyra Valkyria. We have Naomi. We have Tiffany Stratton. And we have Zoe Stark. I'm going to kind of throw these around because, hilariously, we've been sidetracked so much tonight that we're going to easily fill our runtime. This doesn't happen a lot around here, folks. So we're gonna bounce around on these ones, but I'll go through one by one nonetheless. Bob, you're the premier poster among us, so I'll bring you up for Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green, there's a lot of love for Chelsea Green as Money in the Bank, Miss Money in the Bank. It would suit her character. What do you think the chances are?
She is doing great character work. Her matches are not bad when she gets in there. If you look at the field, I don't know that there is a clear winner. So I think, you could throw her name in there and it would be a fitting way for her to get the title. But, then what do you do? Or, you do a failed cash in, which the women have never had one, I guess, if you want to do that, you could. But if kind of going back to what we said about the men, though, too, if you don't have a direct plan for her and you want to give it to her and see where things are, 6 months from now, that's fine, too. I mean, she connects and she's over in every building they go to, and it's not a terrible idea. I don't know that they're going to do it just because there is kind of one obvious choice here in terms of the crowd reaction and stuff, but, it's intriguing.
Is the one obvious choice Tiffany Stratton? Is that what
Yes.
you're? Would
But
she
I
be
don't know
your?
if he's going to win either.
Would if I said to you, gun to your head, who you picking? Would you say Tiffany? Because I would.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. Jack left.
He's still
Furious.
out. I got Tiffany here. Oracle.
Yeah.
You got Tiffany also.
Yeah, I think Tiffany's winning this. I actually really like all the ladies in this. I think it could be a really fun matchup. I think they all have something interesting to offer in a ladder match setting.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tiffy is like an insane, complete nut when it comes to stuff like this. She'll do something insane. I think this is a match where Naomi can thrive.
Yeah.
I think Zoe Stark will do some absolutely insane shit. She is someone who is kind of a risk taker that no one really ever talks about. She will do something nuts in here.
I agree.
Lyra, I think Lyra's done really well on the main roster. I think she's better now than when she started on the main roster.
Yep.
Since people are reacting to her now. Not big. She's not super over. She's not even that over. It's just she's getting responses now, and it's coming through her work. She's still a nervous promo. She's still not entirely confident all the time, but she's good enough in the ring where I think she's getting over, and I think she'll be good in this. Chelsea, I think, will have a lot of comedy spots, and I think she's a nutty bumper. I think there's a chance she could do something crazy in this. I think there's a chance she gets like dove on through a ladder or something.
The crowd's going to pop for Chelsea too. She's going to be a bit of a sentimental favorite.
She's going to be super over. She's going to be super over.
Canada, baby.
Tiffany wins this. Who else am I forgetting?
EO?
Yeah,
EO will be tremendous in this. She's been great the last year.
That goes without saying. Yeah.
Yeah, she's not going to repeat win, but she'll be awesome in this. It's going to also, her losing will further her going crazy and stuff doing what they're doing on TV. So, but yeah, I think Tiffany wins. I think Tiffany should win. I'd be okay with Lyra winning. I'd be okay with Chelsea winning.
They've started something with Tiffany and Nia, right? So it feels like that's a factor here. Chris, 3 of us are picking Tiffany Stratton. Are you also picking Tiffany Stratton?
I am. It's Tiffy time, baby.
There you go.
Distant second for me would be Chelsea. I think she could have a fun run with the briefcase, reminiscent of Carmella's run when she won it. Just have some fun with it. But and she could also be a good. They again on Monday they were really harping on the percentages of successful cash-ins and how the women's is 100%.
Yeah,
they wanted to switch it up. Chelsea would be a good one to have a failed cash in, and it wouldn't really hurt her. But it's Tiffy. It's Tiffany Stratton. Especially with her alliance with Nia, and Nia getting the SummerSlam match, you can have some of that back and forth like they were doing last year with Finn and Priest, where it's like you're going for the title, but I've got this briefcase, so how's that gonna work if you win type deal. But yeah, she could bring out a pink Barbie briefcase next, and carry that around and yeah.
I do. When I look at this lineup, it's like we've kind of covered Chelsea. EO is not going to win, but is like
she'll be the glue that holds the match together.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
She's the main eventer who's just like she's going to make the match better, and she gives the match some punch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lyra, this is just like another step in kind of establishing her as a player. Zoe, I agree with Oracle. I think she'll be really good in this match. I don't know if Zoe's ever going to go over, but I mean,
she's not going to, but she'll
be good in the match.
She always works hard. And
Naomi is the X factor. I look at here in that. So I liked a couple of Naomi's TNA matches. I didn't watch the run closely. I liked a couple of those matches. I'm going to be completely honest in saying that someone who likes Naomi, I've been slightly alarmed by some of her stuff since coming back.
She's been pretty bad at times.
She's been pretty bad. Yeah, and I say that as you and I were quite excited for her comeback, Oracle. So we say that with love, right? Like, I say she's an X Factor because I do think like maybe the Tiffany thing is a red herring, and maybe Naomi's going to be her backup against Tiffany and Nia. And Naomi has that briefcase, and there's a betrayal at hand. Maybe I'm just wondering, every time I see Bayley, it feels like Naomi's just around the corner, and Triple H he's all about friends turning on each other. I mean, that's professional wrestling, right? So I think Naomi is a little bit of I think she has a real shot in this, to be honest with you. I'm still picking Tiffany Stratton. But yeah, I think I wouldn't rule out Naomi personally, but hopefully the match is good, right?
If they are planning to do a Naomi turn, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Money in the Bank is tough for a babyface to pull off.
It has to be a turn. Yeah, it has to be a turn. Yeah, especially her. It wouldn't fit her at all. Yeah.
Going back to the men's, that's kind of the other reason why I'm bumping against Jay. Like, even if he cashes in on The Rock, like it's just tough. The only way it works is the RVD way, where you call your shot. Otherwise it's just like, I don't think it does anybody any good.
Yeah. And to that point, what would Jay's shot even be? Right? Like, it's like it just doesn't quite add up, does it?
Punk's first cash in worked, but that's because Edge was so hated as a heel at that time that they just wanted to see him get his.
Yeah, because they did the angles of draft night, and Batista beat the shit out of him. And
that clip has been going around online for a few different times over the last couple weeks. So that's why it was fresh in my mind. And Edge had cashed in himself a couple times, so it was kind of like him getting his own medicine.
Yeah.
So that worked, but otherwise, it didn't do anything for Big E.
That was a very unfortunate situation, wasn't it? That was a shame. At least he got it, I guess, right?
I mean, it worked in the fact that it got me to watch Raw that week, because at that point you couldn't pay me to watch Raw. So
because it was the one where it was like an outright ratings thing, right? Remember, because he like tweeted, "I'm cashing in tonight." It was like it was a crazy time. Feels like a lifetime ago, but
follow 21.
My goodness, late night Grin. If Tiffany is indeed winning this match, which we've all picked, do we think SummerSlam? How does that tie into the SummerSlam match? Do you think? Because like, I think there's a chance that Nia beats Bayley and Tiffany immediately, and then Tiffany immediately erases their friendship and cashes in the briefcase.
I think they gotta have they've got to have one of these ladies hang on to this for.
Yeah, I agree.
They haven't done that since Carmella, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And even she was she was right after Mania, right?
Yeah, after Mania.
She held for what? She held for 9 months.
After Mania.
It was after Mania. You're right. But yeah, everyone else has either been, I think other than that, it was Io. She cashed in at SummerSlam last year. It's either been
she had it
that night or the night after, or
Yeah. I think Nikki Cross was a week or the night after, or a week after.
Nikki Cross was the night after.
Had a little bit, yeah.
And then everybody else was the night of, right?
Are you talking about Nikki ASH? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yes. I don't break kayfabe on my shows, bro.
So what you? Oh, but you have, because you said, because you called her Nikki Cross on that. She's just that thing that Michael Cole calls her.
True. Fuck.
Yeah.
But I saw a photo of them getting a burger, and I thought it was part of the storytelling.
Right. Those
Let me be clear. Let me be clear. I don't give a fuck. They went out and had dinner, guys. I'm not Mark Henry. It'll be okay. This is an era in which the WWF promoted in the middle of WrestleMania. Hey guys, you can learn how we put this together next week. I ain't going after these dudes are going and grabbing themselves a bite.
I don't love it, to be honest, but like I also don't. It doesn't upset me. It literally don't care. Like
and a big deal. But you're right. I do sometimes break kayfabe. That's one of Gallows' bits on the new Talking Shop. He doesn't break kayfabe, even though they're doing a fucking wrestling podcast. So Carl will be like, "What do you make of the Triple H regime?" And Gallows gets like scared, like he can't talk about it. And he's like, and at one point he said, "I thought Jack Tunney was still running the WWE."
We'll do a deep dive on that, but not today.
They'll do a deep dive. They're in the news today, Chris. Yeah, they've made headlines with the Ethan Page interview. The boys are back. So.
I'll have to listen. I'll probably listen to that on Sunday.
It was good. It was good. Very good. Okay. Super chat. Our friend Plethora says Hikuleo debut tomorrow, hitting Cody with Khali chops. Look, I'm not ruling it out, because if you'd have told me Tungaloa was showing up in Lyon, France, I'd have told you were fucking insane, and he certainly showed up. He wasn't on time, but he showed up. So
Does anyone know how close Jimmy is to being back?
My understanding is he's ready to go. It's great. It's just
I was expecting him last week.
The Garden,
it's clear.
Yeah.
It's clear why they didn't, because they took out Paul.
Right.
Because I was expecting him to interrupt the ceremony last week.
So was I.
But he's got to be coming back soon, right? To get involved.
For sure. It's just I'm trying to figure out we know what he's going to do in the long term, but like where you first bring him back is what intrigues me. Because
that's why I thought last week would have been perfect.
The issue is that
him
interrupting the ceremony. Yeah.
Objecting to that type of thing. But
the only issue is like, how does Jimmy like involve himself with the new bloodline without? I mean, Jimmy's gimmick is that he's kind of like a goof, right? Like he's kind of like he's Jimmy, you know.
Like I could see him coming out like tomorrow and then eating an RKO right after, after he helps them, and
I could totally see that. Yeah. I almost wonder if the better play is actually he saves Jay in a separate angle, because he knows he needs Jay. He knows I have no chance. I could see that almost, because the issue you have with putting him opposite the bloodline is you're trying to get the new bloodline over as being like super serious, right?
And like Jimmy says nothing, you can walk over.
Yeah, that's difficult. Yeah. But you also, if you're going to reunite the Usos, you don't want to kill Jim. It's very, I don't know. As long as we hear that hilarious theme one more time with the. Exactly. It's my favorite thing. My favorite. So hopefully we hear that. I was with you, Chris. I thought we were going to hear that at the Garden, the Jimmy Uso solo. So
I wouldn't put it past him just to go when he comes back to just go back to the old Usos theme.
I'm sure he will. Yeah, which is a shame. I mean, you could give it at least give us a farewell to the solo track. We need to say goodbye. But, nonetheless, we're excited. We'll hear that tomorrow. By the way, Jacob's entrance was really sick. You can tell that they actually made like a good theme for him, so they must be really excited. There you go. All right. Thank you for the super chat. I don't think Hikulo's showing up. He's probably showing up very soon, let's be honest. He might show up, to be honest with you. He's very tall. Very tall. All right. Main event, apparently. Maybe. I don't know. WWE World's title. Damian Priest, Dame Priest, as we know him around here, versus Seth freaking Rollins. Seth Rollins, 3 months ago, appeared unable to walk. Just randomly reemerged on Raw without any news about it all, completely secret, which was cool. And immediately called his shot and wanted his belt back.
Yeah, that was cool. And I didn't hear anything. Yeah, he just showed up.
Mm-hmm. I think it's cool when one of the top stars, who when they last saw him, he lost the belt, comes back and is like, I want to win the belt back. I think that's cool.
I like that he didn't call his shot, because he was going to enter in Money in the Bank, but Priest is like, no, I'll give you a shot. You deserve it.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, you're right. I was breaking kayfabe there, Chris. That's my bad.
Sorry.
No, you should keep me in line on these things. I shouldn't expose the business like that. You're right. He didn't call his shot. Oh, I'm full of shit. The booker called his shot, in fact. There was a skit on Raw, the Judgment Day did, that I saw because it was clipped, that was fucking tremendous as far as WWE skits go. The one where Liv was like watching they were playing like 2K.
Yeah, mm-hmm. That's a new thing.
Because she bought last week. She bought them a PS5, the new 2K game, and like Dominic had this giant platter of chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay. Because I just thought it was like a rest, but it was like genuinely well done, hilariously. And Finn had this like big speech about, it's you've changed since you got that belt.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, fuck, Priest should call this dude a loser and just leave. I mean, this is outrageous way of treating the world champion. But it was very well done. Priest is like good at those segments.
He is.
I actually think the Judgment Day stuff's quite compelling.
Mm-hmm.
I have no clue what's happening here. I want to see what you guys think. Chris,
Yeah.
I'm going to go straight to you. You're the one who gives actual predictions on the program, so I'll go straight to you. What do you think's happening here?
So up until this week, up until last week, I thought for sure, Priest. This is just Priest to give Priest a quality win, and then he can lose to Gunther at SummerSlam. Doesn't make sense to put the title on Seth for a month just to lose to Gunther. We'll do it that way. And then, they announced the stipulations, and it's like, well, clearly, Seth's got nothing to lose here because it's like he can't challenge for the title as long as Priest has it. Well, if Priest loses it next month, then Seth is back in the game. I think that was to throw us off. I think Seth wins, and I think Liv or Finn or both cost Priest to get him out of the Judgment Day.
Yep.
Because Liv's been wanting to take everything from Rhea, right? And when we just assumed that was the title and maybe, play with Dominic here and there. But when she helped Finn and JD win the tag titles, that's when I was kind of like, okay, I see she's literally going to take the judge. Because, like, if it's not for Priest, Dom is doing his best to act like he's not, doesn't want anything to do with Liv, though he keeps getting caught in compromising situations. He's at least, crying, I'm innocent. Obviously, though, there's something going on with Liv and Finn.
That's a plot with those two, isn't it?
Yes. And like
they're plotting.
JD doesn't care. He's got a belt now. And Carlito, he's just along for the ride. And it's clear that the only one that's really ride or die with Rhea is Priest.
I think your explanation is tremendous, Chris, but I'm laughing because Joe's face.
I didn't know any of this.
When you were explaining this, made me burst out laughing because he doesn't watch the TV, and even in clip form, he's like mesmerized by this explanation.
I have no clue. The only reaction I have to this, I'm going to send back to a classic LNG clip, really.
Telling stories.
It's that. When Oracle exploded, when he stepped in and said, "There's a plot with Finn and Liv," I was like, "What? Well, hold on."
Am I wrong, Chris? Am I wrong?
No, you're not, because there was the week they did the room key bit, which I should have been at that show. That was in Toledo, but I was on vacation that week. But they did the room key bit where Dom put it on the table and walked away from it. I don't want it. Finn very clearly picked it up and put it in his pocket. And there's been different times with them. People are tracing it back to the beginning of all this Judgment Day stuff when it was Finn, AJ, and Liv against the Judgment Day. I don't think it's that. But yeah, there's definitely something going on with Finn and Liv here. So because I can see, and the other thing is, like, if Seth loses, what does he do at SummerSlam? Whereas if Priest loses, you can roll right into a Finn match, or you can do Priest and Dom versus Finn and JD in a tag match for the belts. And then maybe that's when Dom turns on Rhea and Priest. Because you can't keep Dom babyface for longer than 4 weeks.
No.
That's not going to work. And look, I'm going to do my Jack impression. I could be completely wrong here. I could be reading way too much into this, and Priest could just win and go on to lose to Gunther at SummerSlam. But
I think you're right.
I was a coward last time. I wanted to say Isla and Alba were going to win the tag titles, but I chickened out and I went with the safe pick. I'm not doing that this time. Damian Priest or Seth Rollins is winning the world title.
what you've described is pretty hard to debate, because the other thing is that the reason I was leaning Seth, but I wasn't sure, was just the core reason of him and Gunther just feels like the correct SummerSlam match anyway, right? That kind of just makes sense.
Mhm.
But now
I like
that you've
Priest,
explained all
but
that,
Seth and Gunther is by far the better match.
It's honestly not even like Priest so much as you said, the match, and also just the style, right? Like it's like babyface heel. Even though Priest is leaning babyface, stylistically, him and Gunther is a weird match.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of hard to. I don't know, Bobby. It sounds like Chris has got this mapped out, bro. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's really nice that Chris is here because he just nailed all that, honestly. And my points were that, the stipulation where Priest loses, he leaves the Judgment Day. That's a big one. And what does Seth do at SummerSlam if he's not facing Gunther? There's an easier path for Priest, and there's a Finn match or Dom match, like Chris said. And, Seth and Gunther, they teased that Raw after the Royal Rumble. We never went back to it because they did a million things instead between then and now, which, fair. But yeah, there's a lot there, I think. And listen, Cody and Solos is what it is. You need to have one world title match at SummerSlam. I think and no offense to Priest. We talked about how Priest is fine, but like Gunther and Seth is such a bigger, like probably better match, and it brings up the card there too. So it's like. And I don't know what Seth does after that. I don't think he's going to be hurt by winning the title back and then losing it in a month. Like, he's fine at this point. Clearly lost twice at WrestleMania, and, no one cares. So,
well,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if you have Seth win too, and because we all know how Triple H likes to be patient. If Seth wins, I don't think it's necessarily a lot Gunther wins at SummerSlam. I think they could delay it till Berlin, maybe.
Berlin, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because like you can't have. I mean, I guess they're doing it with Cody, so I guess you can, but you can't have Gunther go virtually undefeated forever. Like he's lost one match in how long?
For sure. And the Berlin thing is interesting because, like, what is if he's winning the belt at SummerSlam, what is the defense for Berlin? Because he's clearly going to be like one of the hooks for that show.
It's probably main event match for Berlin, right?
Yeah,
well, I think most likely, yeah.
You could do Ilya for the sickos over there, I guess, if you want to use that term.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's. I could see a scenario that if Seth wins, that Gunther doesn't actually win the title at SummerSlam. They delay it a little bit.
Well, that in itself speaks to why the Seth match is more appealing for SummerSlam, is that, like, there is a certain jeopardy of who's going to win. Like, if Priest is working Gunther, it's like, it feels like inevitable where we're going. So, yeah, I can't really argue with any of this. Oracle, what do you think? Seth Freakin getting the belt back?
Yeah, I think Seth Freakin wins, and I've been convinced by Chris here that Liv and Finn cost them, and maybe I don't know if their plot will be revealed tomorrow. Maybe it will, maybe it won't be, but eventually it will be. I just want to point out that there's three types of fans. There's fans like Chris and I who just accept and enjoy the WWE storytelling and how they do it, and then there's others like PWO Loss who just can't take it, and then there's Joe who's simply fascinated by it all. Really,
it's true too. It's true. Like, you know me well enough because we talk about this stuff privately. There's very little cynicism with this. I find it fascinating, legitimately. Because I've experienced some of it, but I don't want
you perked up when I said they're plotting.
Because it pops me. It pops me. It's an angle, right? Like, it pops me.
The angle, see, and maybe it's just because of when I grew up. I grew up on Superstars and Wrestling Challenge when it was the whole show was a couple squash matches, but mostly it was talk show segments and the news desk bulletins and stuff like that. So, like, to me, the angles are everything. Like, obviously, I appreciate good wrestling, and when it comes to a pay-per-view, I expect great wrestling.
For sure.
But on a week in, week out basis, give me all the bullshit and the angles and stuff like that and the promos.
But I grew up on the. I mean, I grew up. I started watching in early 2000. I grew up on the Fed, so
Yeah.
That's the thing is,
that's
it's
my
like
expectation too.
the reason I find it fascinating is I don't have the like built-in affinity for the WWE like style, but I do find it interesting, and I do like the era you're talking
There
about,
is a
Chris.
version of storytelling that they do that nobody else does. No other
It's
wrestling company in the
intriguing.
world could pull off a Judgment Day plot storyline with Liv Morgan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like there's
And the
no other
audience is
wrestling
really
company
into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the other wrestling companies are fighting for an audience that wouldn't like that generally. So
Correct,
it's like
correct.
it's
And
a very
Oracle,
unique thing. Yeah.
And Oracle, it's seemingly their backup plan because Rhea got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Like they pivoted to, pivot is the word of the week. But it seems they pivoted to this because Rhea got hurt.
Yeah. For sure.
I do think there's a Chris, you talk about that era that you grew up on, and there's some angles from back in the old.
Good Lord, Meech with an incredible statement here.
Oh, good Lord, I'm leaving that in the chat. You notice how often though when people talk about the gold, like back in the day with the WWF, early 90s or even late 80s.
Yeah, late 80s. Yeah, but the first thing I don't think it's the first thing I saw, but the first thing I remember was the match, the main event match, the tag match of the Twin Towers versus the Mega Powers, where Liz gets bumped off the apron and Hogan carries her to the back, and then Savage attacks him after he loses.
So I was going to bring up, so I saw recently, because it was advertised on one of the shows, they were doing an A&E rivalries about Jake Roberts and Macho Man.
Ah, yes.
Right, and we all immediately remember that fondly and think of that fondly, because that is one of the greatest angles in the history of pro wrestling. What you remember when you think about it is they only have a couple brief matches, but it's like, sure, Randy Savage has tons of good matches, but that's the angle. One of his angles. He actually he's blessed in the sense that he has a handful of classic angles. You just mentioned one, Chris, with Hogan. But people do remember those things. Now, let me be clear, folks. None of us are under the illusion that in 30 years, there's going to be someone on here going, I'll never forget when Liv and Finn had the... They might be. We don't know. I don't think so, hopefully. But I can tell you with confidence, whoever the fuck is doing wrestling podcasts in 30 years will absolutely be talking about the Bloodline stuff. I can promise you that.
Oh, for sure.
For better or worse, because I do think there's a version of it where people try and replicate it to very negative effects in the coming years. I think that's definitely possible. But that's intriguing, dude.
The Twin Towers were the Big Boss Man and Akeem the African Dream.
Indeed. Which is amazing in so many ways. Yes. A Dusty Rib character teaming with Boss Man is incredible.
Real quick before we wrap up, do we think Rhea comes back soon and we get Rhea Liv at SummerSlam?
See, from
what I heard, her shoulder injury, they feared the worst, but it ended up not being as bad as they thought, right?
I could see her coming back here in the next week or two.
Yeah,
especially if this plays out like I mapped out.
Yeah, I'm not sure that sounds right. I think she'll wrestle Liv at SummerSlam personally. I think so. Maybe there's even room to do.
And maybe if she's not,
go for it.
You could do it. You do a 6-person if she's not that's quite ready.
Yeah, you could definitely do something like that with the Judgment Day dynamic you just laid out. That makes perfect sense. So, yeah, maybe that will be the route. And it also means you can get a little more juice out of the Rhea Liv singles match too. So, yeah, something like that. I think she'll be back soon, though. I do. All right. Money in the Bank.
Have we heard from Jack? Is he okay?
He's fine. Yeah, I should have mentioned that. I'm glad you reminded me, Chris. I was about to end the show with a just mystery absence of Jack Crosby. He had to go, and Penny Crosby needed him. Shout out Penny. There was an adorable video that Jackie sent us the other day of Penny saying LNG. Fucking awesome. So
so Kingston and I were wrestling earlier this evening. He was
Did you put him over?
Oh yeah. He He's got this little step stool that he uses so he can wash his hands in the sink.
So does Bob.
And he brought that out into the living room and kept jumping off of it like it was the top rope on top of me and stuff. It was fun. We wrestled today and we played with Ghostbusters, real Ghostbusters action figures today. So that's the life. It's the greatest. It was the greatest dad day yet today.
That's tremendous. Awesome. I love to hear it. The future generations of LNG here.
I bought. They re-released the original Kenner real Ghostbusters action figures like 4 years ago now at this point, I think. And I bought them because this is before we even knew we were having Kingston. I bought them because because I'm a giant child, and B, I was like, well,
as you should
someday, hopefully I have a little
and a step stool.
Yeah. And so
that's very in vogue now, dude. The like re-release of old lines.
So like it started. So I've got them right here. About
the Star Wars folks have been doing this now too. Yeah. I've seen
15 years ago they did the Ninja Turtles ones the first time. They've done them like 3 times since. The first time though was in 2009 for the 25th anniversary of the Turtles. So I got these, and this you can't see it on this shot, but this Ultimate Warrior wrestling buddy, that's not the original one I had as a kid.
Re-release?
It wasn't a re-release. It was one my mom bought me. I had this year for Christmas. It was a retro Christmas because I got all these Turtles action figures, and she found that wrestling buddy on eBay and got it for me. So Christmas
that
09
might have been a pretty penny, dude. That might have been that. Are those expensive now? I don't know.
Now they are. In 09, I don't know what they were. I don't think they were probably quite as bad in 09, but
probably not. Well, I was gonna break kayfabe again. Then I better
worth pointing out. We need to point this out as
gonna do action figure talk. Carry on,
Trish Stratus is hosting this Money in the Bank.
Yes.
There is.
It's time to rock and roll.
There is some wonderment if she works SummerSlam this year, or maybe not SummerSlam, but some point this fall. I thought she looked good. Like she started pretty rusty last year, right? But then she took 6 crazy bumps in Money in the Bank and had that
cage
awesome
match against
Becky
with
Becky. So.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, it was tremendous. That was what I was going to say. I need broke kayfabe. Let me go. Did you see those fucking? We're just doing a post show now, folks. I hope everyone's enjoyed this. Did you see those Steiners they're bringing out?
Yep.
Oh, did you see this?
They're awesome.
Fucking Steiners with the jackets and the. I don't know, dude. They're those figures these days. They're very unfortunate. My wallet, very sad.
Yeah. I've been going to look for a while. I was going to go tomorrow and see if I could find something.
I was very relieved that the Daniel Garcia figure looked a lot like Dan Garcia until they actually put it in the box and they went, oh, and then it did the thing that those figures do where it didn't look like anyone. I said, oh, that's good. I can save some money. But yeah, it's a good time here at the Late Night Grin. We've covered Money in the Bank. We have talked about Trish Stratus. We've talked about action figures old and new. Bob has talked about ladders and his lack of owning one.
True.
Yeah.
The Oracle of Wrestling has talked about physical media, as have I.
Yeah.
This is what we do here. What a great time. What a great time. We rock and roll. Here we go. All right, folks, we're going to do some plugs. There's quite a few coming up. We hope you've enjoyed this. Smash the thumbs up, as Bobby would say. The like button, wherever that thing, hit it. We're going to do some plugs here. We hope you come along for the ride. Chris, where can people find more of your stuff, music and moonsaults, all of those wonderful things? Tell them about it.
musicandmoonsaults.com takes you to my YouTube channel, where most weeks on Friday afternoons, there's a new episode of Kris and Matt's Wrestling Podcast. This week we did not do one because we record on Thursdays, and yesterday was a holiday here in the United States.
I heard about that.
Do that. And we probably won't record next week because the date falls on his wife's birthday. So that probably, won't happen. I did yesterday, after about a month off, drop a new bass cover. So I'm in a big 2000s rock mode. I've decided that whenever I'm in a band next, it's going to be 2000s rock based, because for whatever reason that music is appealing to me at the moment. So yeah, check that out and give me a subscribe and stuff like that. That'd be very helpful.
And smash the thumbs up button.
Yes.
And hit the bell. Also,
and real quick, not to take us even more off the track, but
it's fine, dude.
8 years ago. Well, it would be 8 years ago yesterday now at this point. I was at a SmackDown taping in Toledo, Ohio. I think it was like second to last SmackDown before the draft, before they went live.
Oh God.
Want to take a guess at what the post-show dark match was?
Okay. I think there's a real chance there's some good brothers involved in this. I really do. I could be wrong.
Correct. You would be correct.
Okay. The Club
Yes.
versus Dean Ambrose and New Day is my guess.
Close.
Oh, fuck.
Close. Oracle, want to take a stab?
The Club versus Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Roman was suspended for apparently
Yes.
according to Dave Meltzer on massive steroid scandal. So Dean Ambrose and John Cena and
Oh shit.
Dolph Ziggler.
Nope.
No.
Bob, you want to take a crack?
You're our last hope, Bob.
Was it Cena and Enzo and Cass? I know they teamed at Battleground.
That would
So
make sense.
between the three of you, you got it. It was the Club versus Dean Ambrose, Enzo, and Cass. During the actual show, AJ Styles wrestled Enzo Amore.
How long? Do you know how long that match went? Because that sounds fucking
no,
hilarious, dude.
No.
Okay.
Hold on. 603. 603.
Woo!
My God.
We had the pre-show dark match was Darren Young with Bob Backlund beating Heath Slater.
Oh my God, the Bob Backlund thing! I forgot all about that.
Yes.
What was the slogan? What was the slogan for that? Remember?
Make Darren Young great again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course. How could I?
Of course,
how could I forget?
it was.
Bob would remember that. Here you go.
Seth Rollins wrestled Jey Uso on this show.
Eventual WWF World Title match there that you were getting.
Zack Ryder beat Sheamus in 2 minutes and 43 seconds.
Wow.
Sheamus was on one of his low points during that period where he was.
Yeah, this is League of Nations era.
Oh,
Well, this is Rock League of Nations. He didn't really get back into things until he formed the Bar with Cesaro because
Yeah, a little bit later this year.
remember
right?
they had the best of 7 in the late summer and fall.
Yeah, boy.
The aforementioned AJ versus Enzo match. The Miz defeated Kalisto.
Oh, Jesus.
And your main event on the show on SmackDown was Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho.
Oh, that might have been good at the time.
About the only thing I remember about this show, other than the business with the Club and Enzo and Cass and Dean, was this was one of the first. Jericho and Owens had a backstager, and this was like one of the first things they did together, where it led to them teaming up.
Because at SummerSlam they worked Enzo and Cass.
Enzo and Cass in the opener, yeah.
Dude, the Good Brothers thing is like a bit now, but sincerely, people that didn't watch at the time will never realize how much buzz there was for like.
Oh my God, it was big.
Bullet Club in WWE, and it didn't really.
So
it never felt like that, but yeah.
I was at Matt's house, not the confirmed shoot, but Matt Durr, my co-host.
Yes.
I was at his house watching that year's Wrestle Kingdom. Like I think it was we were in the middle of the AJ Shinsuke match, and I'm looking at my phone, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" He's like, "What?" I go, "The Bullet Club and Shinsuke are going to WWE."
That's exactly how it was reported. It was just that immediately it was like all 4 of those guys.
Yeah.
And it stunned people because, let's just carry on this detail. People are enjoying this fucking. So we found out afterwards that TNA almost signed the Good Brothers and AJ, which is like, in hindsight, one of the most scary what ifs ever, because that would have fucked up everything. If you actually think about it, like, with respect to Total Nonstop Action, they were on like Pop TV that year.
Domino effects that would have changed everything.
Dude, that would have been awful. Like, thank God that didn't happen. But yeah, so no one even thought any of those guys were leaving at the time. Like, there were rumors, WWE wants Sheehan, like but no one thought it was going to happen. It was crazy. Like, they're signing. It was a wild time, and I remember the excitement. And then the Good Brothers were supposed to debut after Mania, and like they moved it back a week, and they debuted the week after that, and they got like a good reaction. They would have got a much better reaction after Mania, but WWE 2016. And they did the Cena stuff, right? Which people remember the like beat up John Cena. But they split them up in the draft, and it was crazy. It worked out for the best for AJ because like he got him as his own serious main event act. But when they split them up in the draft, people were like, "What the fuck, dude? It was weird."
Yeah, they just got here. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, there was a video. I don't know if it's still out there. They did a video at the time that was like WWE exclusive. The club react to being split up in the draft. And it was AJ's like sincere reaction to it, and he's quite upset. And you see Chris Jericho in the background being like, "What the fuck?" Chris is like doing a gallows, I think, and he's like, "Is it a rib?" I guess it was on one half of the act. I don't know, but that of course set up the OC for their big run.
One last note about one last personal note about that SmackDown is I needed someone to go with me. Because I just don't like going to wrestling shows by myself, and Matt couldn't go, so my dad actually went, and it was the first wrestling show that he and I, just the two of us, attended together.
Oh my god!
Since SummerSlam '93.
Wow!
Oh my god! Did Mr. Bourdon have any sweeping conclusions, or did he think it sucked?
No, he was good. He's definitely more casual fan than I am.
Enjoys it though.
Yes. He's I mean, he's how I got into it. He went to WrestleMania 3.
Because for some people, they just will never get it. But if they've liked it before, they can get. You can always, the beauty of wrestling is if you've ever liked it, you can always sort of drop back in on some sort of level and be like, "This is fun, right?"
He'll ask me. You know, he doesn't watch the shows, but he'll see clips and he'll ask me stuff every now and then, like, "What's the deal with this?" And I'm like, "Oh." Yeah.
Story for this while we're telling personal stories. Meech said no idea about AJ in the Rumble. So I was at the week before. This is a crazy thing now, but it happened at the time. York Hall, maybe 1,000 people, maybe. Zack Sabre Jr. versus AJ Styles. I was at, and after the match, AJ got the mic, and it was basically saying he wasn't going to be working Rev Pro anymore because we kind of were the belief he was going to WWE, and the crowd started chanting Royal Rumble at AJ. And even though we were a week away from it, and it seemed obvious that he was going there, you still couldn't actually imagine him walking out in the Royal Rumble.
No,
it didn't make it sounds silly now, but for a long time, AJ to WWE was like a Sting thing. It was like, bro, he's not.
Yeah.
What is he going to do in WWE? He's a 5'8" guy with a Southern accent, and It
was years until seeing him there didn't feel weird.
Yeah, and then we actually went in the other direction where he kind of just became like a guy on the WWE roster, which was even weirder in some ways.
Yeah, he's as crazy as it sounds, he's a WWE guy now. Like
100%. Yeah.
Obviously, him seeing TNA on Fox Sports Net, and like the first time I saw AJ Styles, it was like one of those holy shit moments.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so obviously, like, I think of him in TNA, but like, yeah, he's just. It's been 8 years now. Like
8 years. Yeah.
Wild. It's crazy.
And we are in a perfect transition to the rest of our plugs. We're a week away from his return to Japan. We're a week away from his return as a WWE guy, as a WWE representative, allegedly with a couple good brothers alongside him, as he meets Marufuji at Budokan, which is one of the craziest. I mean, folks, I don't know how good that thing is going to be, but it's certainly going to be a moment. And next week we're going to be live, but I'm going to do the whole rundown in a second. But firstly, Bobby Two Shoes, plugs, promotions, so on and so forth. Go for it.
I don't think so. Next week I'll be there for, I believe, the first third of that program.
Yes.
Week after, I believe we're doing our Sid Grin Grappler
Yes.
And
then the Jarrett Grin grappler after that.
Yeah. Some other stuff along the way. I know I won't be here on the 26th, but I'll be back the week after that for SummerSlam, and I'll be here until then.
I love it. Bro. All right. Lord Oracle, anything in particular to add, brother?
So I went to see AJ Styles wrestle a tag team match south of Atlanta a few weeks before Royal Rumble 2016.
There you go.
And then I saw him debut live in Orlando.
You did.
I was in the building with JJ Williams. I don't think we sat together. No, we didn't. But he was somewhere in there. I saw JJ that weekend, I believe. But,
Legend.
Saw it live with my very own eyes. One of the great live experiences of my entire life. I think it read well on TV, watching it later, but in the building, that entire match was like pop after pop after pop. It was insane. Sami Zayn was in the Rumble. Like it was nuts. That match, AJ's debut was like my favorite live experience ever.
That rules. This has been nice. Just reminiscing.
Watch the January 12th show next week. I will not be here. It's like 8 hours long or something, right?
Yes, it is. You did say January 12th, but that's fine.
Oh, the July 12th show. Oops. The July 12th show. I didn't even know I said that until you.
It's fun.
I will be back July 26th.
July 26th. Get
be
ready
at
for
SCI
it.
next weekend. Then I'll be on vacation the weekend after that. I'll be on a lake somewhere in Tennessee. And then I will be returning on the 26th for an open week.
When is the Ring of Honor show? When is that? Does anyone know? Bob, you feel like my best shot here. You're a dates man.
27th.
Oracle. Is it a Friday or a Saturday though? Because if it was a Friday, Oracle might have 3 weeks off.
Yeah, I'm not doing that shit.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm trying to figure out now. I don't want to advertise you. I don't want to false advertise you.
Death before dishonor. That'd be.
But Oracle, we could fill.
Oracle chooses death.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
26th. Oracle, you're off 3 weeks, bro. This is your last stand.
Is that really it?
Yeah.
I'm off for 3 weeks then. I'll be around for Grin Grappler maybe. I don't know when we're doing that, but maybe we can do an earlier Grin Grappler in July.
I think we're gonna for the Sid thing. I think we'll try and go earlier. We just need to figure out the matches.
Yeah.
The one challenge.
But I will be back. I guess I will be back for SummerSlam preview and
what a run! You've been on a lot, Reese. It's made for the best. Yeah. You take yourself off the road.
Summer vacation, you know.
Beautiful. July 26th. So that's one of those blank slates. Look at the way that came together there, Bobby. Bobby, you start to re-up the Honor Club subscription, bro. Let's dive in.
I don't know if I ever canceled it from Final Battle.
You still got it?
Yeah.
You're the one.
My high spot's renewed for 3 months yesterday too, because I got that for the Super Show or whatever. Forgot to cancel it, so I got high spots for 3 more months now.
To be fair, there's a lot of good shit on there that would pop.
Yeah.
A lot of good shit. All right, here we go, folks. Here's the deal. There's only one show next week, and it is the show. The show of shows. The big one. The Late Night Grin 117. We are live for a Grin along of prestige, and here's the beauty of this, folks. It isn't on a streaming service. It isn't behind a paywall. That show is going to be live on YouTube. You can watch alongside with us on YouTube. Well, what's on the card, Joe? Well, here's what's on the card. Roderick Strong versus Timothy Thatcher. Alex Shelley versus Chris Sabin. The Amazing Red versus Leo Rush. Mike Santana versus Shelton Benjamin of Bob O'Neill fame. Big business. One of the most stacked indie shows of the year, like legitimately. I'm excited for it. The lineup, simple. Myself, Confirmed Shoot, Bob O'Neill, Young Dukes, Manny the Hooper, Contrarian Alex.
Oh, man.
Now, when that show ends, the night continues. How many of the people of that lineup stick with it? I think it may be just Dukes and I. But nonetheless, we're going to be joined by debuting Six Star as our Joshi expert, as well as the great Charlie of Great Britain. That's what's coming up next week. We're going to have rotating lineups. We'll see who makes it. I think Dukes and I are going to try and do the whole night. Of course, there's a double header in Japan. We have, and they may happen at the same time, hopefully not. EO in Marigold, Uncle Alan in Pro Wrestling Noah. So it doesn't get any bigger than that, folks. That's what's coming up next week. It's the only show next week. It's my only show next week because I'm preparing for the big show by doing absolutely nothing else in terms of wrestling content. So look forward to it. Catch up on the game plan video that I did on Wednesday that made a few people laugh. That was fun. Catch up on Tope's sweet edit for our draft, which was fucking awesome. Yeah, that covers it, right? But the most important thing they need to do, Bob, is what do they need to do? That damn thumbs up like button.
Smash that like button.
Smash it. That's what you need to do. Smash it. All right. Some reason you've stuck with us for the whole night, folks. We really appreciate it. Do what Bobby just mentioned. And if you're really feeling generous, drop a comment below. What could they comment, though? You could do predictions if you want, but that seems kind of lame for late night written. What could the comment be? I don't know. We've saying about Jack Crosby. Okay.
Hashtag Chris is right.
You can do that. That's fine. That works. My pitch is going to be, if you believe that Jey Uso is going to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase and beat the final boss, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, you comment yeet. If you disagree, you know you got to comment. It's no yeet on behalf of Jim Uso. So yeet or no yeet. The beauty of these bits is, if you do that, the people that watch the show tomorrow are going to have absolutely no idea why that's happened to the comment section. They'll think we've been hijacked. So if you agree with Jack, yeet. If not, no yeet. Please do that. It'll pop us very much. Either way.
The first time Jay says yeet and then Jimmy pauses and then says yeet back.
Yeah.
You want to talk about crazy crowd reactions?
Dude, Contrarian Alex said that it's going to be this generation's Savage and Liz reunion at Mania. Because of course he did. Fucking asshole. All right. Alex will be here next week. We'll see you all then. Have a great night, morning, wherever we're at now. Keep grinning. All out. Enjoy this outro, folks. Bye.